Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, greetings, gratitude. We got another good one today, you guys. Another good one. Hello, Braxton. Welcome, welcome, welcome. YouTube family, TikTok family, welcome, welcome, welcome. We got another good one today. Another one, another one. Today we're going to talk about land ancestors. I said I would come back. I just come here when ancestors tell me to come back and they be sharing stuff with me. After they share it with me, then I'll come back here and share it with you. And I said I would come back here and talk about types of ancestors. So I'm gonna probably do this for about a few days and come here and talk about different ancestors. And today I wanted to talk about land ancestors because land ancestors hold the most healing and power in our work. That's why our ancestors was very, very connected with nature. And you heard me talking about land ancestors the other day. And so now I'm going to go further into it. You heard me talk about you need to go to those archaeological sites, like where those burial mounds are. You need to go there if you're a person of color and your ancestors then told you that you were Blackfoot Indian, that you were Indian or something like that. You need to be going to the land. If you know your ancestors told you that, those the ancestors that's where you need to be going. A lot of us need to be going to the land. Even if that's not where if you're not from that land, you need to be connecting with the land because the land is the one who is sustaining you. Thank you, Scorpio. Scorpio Kusan. So the land is the one sustaining you. And you had ancestors that were very linked to that land. Now, when we get into that subject, because I know a lot of maybe you're in our hoodoo community and you seeing us cover Mexican magic. Why are we covering Mexican magic? Because when you start following again the history of the land, stop looking at the people and look at the land. When you follow the land, then it tells you a lot about the spiritual practices there too. So when we look at Mexican magic, they have a lot of indigenous ancestry in the folk magic. And the indigenous, again, ancestry is connected to the land. Are you following me? Hi, Cartel Lewis. Hello, hello. Welcome, beloved. Welcome, TikTok family. Welcome, YouTube family. I'm breaking it all down today so you'll get it, in increments. Okay, thanks for the follow, Scorpio Sun. Uh, I'm giving it to you in increments to break it down and help you understand why are we connecting with land ancestors? Why did we over there in our community? Why did I cover that? Why do I cover that extensively? Because that's what root work is all about. That's what shamanism is all about. That is true root work when you start really connecting with the land, knowing these plant spirits, working with tree spirits, working with the spirits of the land. That's true raw uh power. That's where the power gonna come from because you're working with these natural elements. And so do we have ancestors that work close with these elements as well. Okay, so we look at the Mexican magic. And when we look at the Mexican magic, it also inspired hoodoo practitioners to further explore their own ancestral lines and connect more deeply with the land they inhabit and understand how cultural memory lives on in ritual because the land holds memory as well. Ancestor work also encourages introspection, greater clarity about life purpose, which creates a more personal satisfaction and sense of meaning in life. On a familiar level, sustained ancestor work can help us heal intergenerational patterns or family dysfunction by working with spiritually with vibrant ancestors, because that's what the land ancestors are. They are ancestors. Most ancestors that work with the land, they were root worker, they were vibrant ancestors. There and these are the most oldest ancestors spanning beyond the 2,000 year mark. And so when you start working with those ancestors, you're working with vibrant, elevated ancestors on the land. You can start to understand and contain and transform patterns and of pain and abuse and gradually reclaim positive spirit of family. So again, if you need to do some real healing in your family, well, you're gonna have to do that anyway. Work with these land ancestors. Okay, indigenous people often view themselves as descendants of specific powers, deities, land spirits, stars, natural forces, or exceptional and ancient human beings, like an underground root system, stories that anchor the bloodlines in sacred time and divine personalities, link human ancestors with the vitality of these old powers and thereby feed the well being of the lineage. So, again, when you start connecting with these older ancestors, again, you start healing the lineage. If you're going to connect with them, instant healing happens. Our ancestors are deeply linked with nature because nature was their first teacher, healer, and home. So, and you start getting to ancestor veneration, you learn that friends of your ancestors too. If these people were friends with your ancestors, now they're your ancestors too. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? So if these elementals were friends with your ancestors and they work closely with your ancestors, they are now your ancestors. Are you getting what I'm putting down here? Are you getting what I'm putting down here? Do you hear me? I don't know what that means. Face fuchsias, fascia, shape face. I don't know what that means. Crystal's world. Okay, I'm getting what you're putting down. I know that's right. Thank you, Scorpio sun. That's what I'm saying. That's what you're going by. That's why you're seeing a lot of people they get into shamanism and they're connecting with the land. Again, they're connecting with the most ancient ancestors when you start honoring them. That's why a good book to read to understand more about this. Uh, Maladom, I will keep going back to him because his books are just fabulous in helping you understand ritual, nature, and ancestors. So when we're doing rituals outside and you're taking that outside, again, it's an offering to nature. Have you ever just went outside, because the ancestors had me doing this a lot, just going outside to a park and doing an offering to the park or to the land. That's it. Ancestors love that. And them ancestors will start to talk to you on that land if you do that often enough. And that's what happened to me. Yes, I had someone show up in an ancestors reading that wasn't a relative of mine. Okay. If they are friends with your ancestors, family friends that's been friends with your ancestors, sometimes they will show up. So now they are your ancestors too. That will happen. Okay. And that is exactly what happened in the elemental kingdom when our ancestors start again connecting with connecting with the land. I want to connect with my ancestors so badly. I want to learn them. Sit down and be quiet. That's all you got to do and ask for a sign, living for it. I've always felt like my earth and fire elementals were from my ancestors. Divine honors to the earth, to the sun, divine honor to the water and the wind. Yes, I remember your story when you went to the lake and the ancestors showed up. Okay. All right, they're gonna show up. You go out there long enough, and I kept being drawn to this same park. I kept saying, "Why do I love this park? Love that park." I always did my offering to my ancestors down there on the river to my ancestors. Love the park. Park start talking to me. Love going down to Toltec mounds, just visiting those ancestors. I'm weird like that. Like I said, I'm a kind of odd, nerdy person. Okay. So our ancestors, that's why you'll see our ancestors too when you're looking at Mama Wata, when you're looking at Yemiya, Oshun. Again, what are they connected with? They're connected with the elements of water. Okay? And some of our ancestors work with these energies. Yep, can't you forget your trees, cause your trees is your main line to the ancestors. Go on say it, Al Ward. Your trees is your main line to the ancestors. I don't know why people want to keep chopping them down, messing with them. Okay, I don't know why people want to keep doing that. Okay, our ancestors are deeply linked with nature because nature was their first teacher. The spirits of our forebears don't just exist in some distant realm, they dwell in trees. Just like Al Wars has said, they dwell in trees, rivers, stones, and winds. When we feel a sudden calm, a breeze, a bird singing at the right moment, or a warm pulse in the earth beneath our feet, it's often said that the ancestors are near us, showing their presence through the natural world. It's the ancestors. That's why you see a lot of indigenous spiritual systems, such as voodoo or Ifa. They do them rituals outside. Why you think they doing it outside? I just told you that when the Kachinas, uh, again looking at Mexican magic, when the again looking at these indigenous ancestors, when they would go out in nature, they would invoke these Kachinas, these ancestral elemental spirits come over the community and join in the community. I've just told you that. I hope you're getting what I'm putting down over here. I want you to help you really understand ancestors. And this go the as we go in a few days, we can talk about this. This is gonna go even further. It's probably gonna knock your socks off. And these are just land ancestors I'm talking about that is connected to the land, it's connected to the earth. I haven't even went to the told you about the other ones. I'm gonna stick on this today to help you understand ancestors. It is not just your family. Who was here before them? Who was here before them? Yeah. Certain places, I don't want to get out the thing. Okay. So certain places on earth support heightened connectivity with ancestors. First and foremost, our ancestors speak through our blood and bones. Like it or not, we are walking, breathing ancestor shrines. The ancestors may also speak through specific locations in the natural world. When we view specific animals, plants, or linked with ancestors, their appearance can function as a trigger or portal for direct ancestral connection. So when you're going out, you're seeing these animals, or you start working with these a particular plant, it might trigger again opening an ancestral portal. You have some people that only work with certain different herbs and had a good relationship with that herbs. You'll be surprised how the ancestors would set up your magic. It would be very different from what you're seeing now. There's a young man. I need to share his video so you can understand, kind of understand what I'm talking about. I might share his video, but he's here and he's making all these different darts. He's telling everybody about these different darts, graveyard darts. And I love the fact that when he mentions it, he mentions necromancy. He's right off the bat telling you, hey, this is a form of necromancy when you start working with graveyard dirt, funeral dirt. Uh, he he tells you right off the bat. He tells you right off the bat. I'm getting these messages in here from people. He tells you right off the bat what he's doing, and it doesn't look like anybody. He works with dirt. His ancestors have him working with dirt. Then he showed him working with water. So your ancestors will have you doing work that and doing a whole bunch of kind of work with one specific thing, and nobody knew that you could do all that work with one element. It won't look like nobody else when you finally tap into the element that you vibe with or your ancestors lead. That's when you get the best results. Not looking at nobody else, but following your ancestors and being following your intuition. That's because that's how you're gonna follow your ancestors and tap into your magic. That is why over there in our community, I would expose you to a wide variety of things. I don't know what your how your ancestors gonna lead you. That's why I expose you to so many materials and have you look at it because only your spirit would know what's going to resonate with it. I have to leave that open for you. I can't tell you what your magic is. You and your ancestors have to determine that. Does that make sense to you? I'm having a hard time getting into hoodoo. But maybe it's not for you if you're having a hard time to do it. Okay. But it's ancestral veneration first. If you're skipping it, then that's probably the problem. Hoodoo and shadow work is a good foundation for that. But I expose you to all that over there. I only expose as we talk about bowl magic, talk about container magic, charms, mojos, uh, dirt. I'm gonna cover it all. You get a chance to look at it and be like, okay, I like this, right? I'm vibing with this. Let me ask the ancestors, should I be doing this? This is one reason why I cover that. Okay. Moreover, the dwelling places may be portals to the ancestors' realm. Many cultures on associate certain trees with the dead. And our ancestors did the same thing. They love cedar trees. You'll see a lot of cedar trees, cypress trees in the cemetery. Yeah. There you have some of them burying the dead at the foot of a tree and associating that tree with the person that they buried there. The link is in my bio. Should be in my link tree. The name of the our community is called Spiritual Roots. Okay. So when you go into a tree, I got a tree out there now. I'm worried about that tree. I've been working with that tree. Seem like I've been out since I've been going out there working with that tree. Folks want to be doing stuff around that tree. I'm like, why y'all messing with my tree? Y'all got 4, 5 other trees out here that I don't even touch. And I'm saying I'm gonna have to find me another tree. Just pray to the tree this morning and say, Lord, I'm gonna have to leave you alone because these folks can come out here and start getting around you. And if to me, I don't like it because that's the tree I use when I do my work. But now I'm gonna have to find another tree because I don't like all that disturbance that they doing around the tree. There's so many other trees over here. Why y'all buy this tree? I don't know. That's my tree. I feel like that's my tree. It's been helping me for so long. But again, you have instant access, an instant phone line. Trees are instant phone lines to the ancestors. When I tell you, when they look at you, they're looking at your ancestors. When I tell you that these plants and trees and stuff, they know who you are. You sit out there long enough, they'll tell you. But you think you just sitting thinking that's just a tree, that's a living organism. If it wasn't for the tree, you wouldn't be able to breathe. You wouldn't even be here. So how do you think they're passive uh uh in you being here? No, they're not. They're very active in you being here because without the trees, you would not be able to breathe. That's a fact, Jack. Okay? These are living organisms. I don't know why people want to uh keep messing with them like that, but these again, these are living organisms. They are alive. Okay? The land itself is a living, breathing convergence of many different elder powers, some of whom appear to be modern ways of thinking as mountains, river, forest, stones, and so on. These are your elders. These are your ancestors. That's why you have them in the Americas. What was the name of that mountain they call it? The three grandfathers or the three uncles. They named the mountains like that. They named them until these colonizers come in here and start messing it up. Okay, we knew that. Why do you think it was so hard for them to defeat indigenous people? Because they knew the land. The land itself would help them in battle. Go look at the story of John Horse. They could not defeat John Horse. And they dare not go up in them swamps when our ancestors went to the swamps. They knew damn well they couldn't go up in there. How could they survive in the swamps? Because our ancestors had relationships with these spirit animals. Them alligators didn't bother them when they went up in there, and them people were scared to go up in them swamps and bother. Why? I forgot which one it was. Was it Dr. Buzzard? It was some story I was reading where these two workers were into it with each other. And this worker had got stuck in the swamp, and the alligators was keeping her hostage, wouldn't let her up out the swamp. The other worker had did some work on her and was working with those alligators to keep her in that swamp. And he told her to be quiet and stop hollering, for he tell those alligators to eat her up. This is not far-fetched. Our ancestors have always been able to communicate with animals. I don't know why, you know. They've always been able, they still do that right now today. You look at how black people do their animals, they talk to them just like their kids or their brother or something. You still doing it. Had a woman over here to put her fish in time out. And you can clearly see that fish understood what she was saying. Okay, so I don't see why this would be far-fetched to you. The ecological convergence of the biosphere is the dancing of the gods. Many cultures have traditionally maintained active conscious relationship with these forces. As a result, these forces are able to guide the humans on how to live in conscious and reciprocal relationships with them over time. Like they try to talk about these are some of these folks that live out here in the jungle. They live they are advanced civilization. They know how to live in harmony with nature. And you sitting up there calling them people savages and stuff like that. No, them people ain't savages. Them people are more advanced to us. You wouldn't be able to live out there like that. They know where to go get the medicine from. They know where to go get the food from. They live off the land. The land is good to them, and they are good to the land. That's how that works. But then they sit up at, well, who is them people? Is that the Adamian people, or these people in the ocean? They have never been touched by civilization, and then every time somebody go out there, they tell people to stay away from them people. They don't want to be bothered with nobody, but folks go out there anyway trying to bother them people, and them people always attack them people and get them up off their stuff. They don't need your help. They're just fine where they're letting you know that. They smart as hell because they know if you bring you, they know you ain't coming in no peace, you ain't coming to help. You trying to see what they got or what kind of resources and this stuff on that land. There's some on that land y'all want, but them damn people ain't letting you on there. You ain't just want to go there and make friends with them. So stop lying. That's why them people don't know. They know what they got. And I just feel like you're trying to steal it. Because why else are you trying to go up? You ain't trying. When have you ever just out of the kindness of your heart, colonizer wanted to really help somebody genuinely that was dark, that was indigenous? No, you going over there to do something nefarious to them people, and they ancestors know because they run y'all ass away from there every time y'all try to land and get them stuff. No, get your ass away from here. We don't want nothing y'all got. They tell tourists to stay the hell away from there. Okay, is that what it's called, the Solomon Islands? Them people, they don't let nobody on that island either. They no, you better not even think about it. Them people out there running you away from there. I don't blame them. You know what I'm saying? I don't blame them. They living in harmony with nature. They don't need your help. They're advanced civilization. You need to figure out how come you can't survive outside. You need to go figure that out. Stop making these people look like they savages. They need our help. They live it out. So what? Thank you, Melanie 67. Hey, Miss Penny, I'm back to the back to the unraggedy myself. Hey, Black Magic, Mike. Hey, baby. Okay. Hi, YouTube family. Hello, TikTok family. But that is an advanced civilization. Don't let them fool you. That's what they call themselves doing to our ancestors. They need us. They live this kind of way. Now, y'all are savages. You stink. You don't want to take a. Let me stop. I'm gonna stop right there because I'm about to get on the soapbox. But again, that those are advanced civilizations because again, they have relationships with these nature spirits. Okay? Knowing the land and what goes on in it means knowing the spirit of the place and the people who have lived there. So when you start again connecting with the land, you're gonna get a different story. Thank you, Money Blessing. I think that's your name, baby. Money Beauty Wellness. Now, uh, again, when you start connected to the land, you get a different history. Stop, that's why I had to say it was some, how people try to, they either don't know the history or it's a gap in it, and you be wanting to know things. When you start connecting with the land, they start telling you a different story when you start looking at the archaeological sites, because some of the archaeological sites don't line up with the lies in the book. What should I do if I want to start my altar, but I was having addiction in my family? Again, I would go to the land ancestors. That's what I would go first. Those are the most elevated ancestors. If you have dysfunction, this is why it's hard when I look at how intergenerational trauma has impacted us and our ancestors and the generations. From my perspective, because I've run into I have had too many people that I've had to help heal that look like me and that have some of the um, similar trauma in their family. I say this because you might have to go out to the healthy ancestors to come in to heal the dysfunctional family. That is the most safest way to work with your ancestors if you have addiction and all that in your family. I would do it anyway, even if it wasn't addicted, because some of our families, some of them was just crazy. Some of them were religious fanatics, or they had some narcissistic traits or something like that. But it's definitely the safest way is to go out to the land ancestors and then slowly come in, because the land ancestors can start energetically um, healing the family. They're going to have to do it because you don't have that type of knowledge or know how to do it. They'll have to lead you to do it and be leading you on that. Okay. Wow, I appreciate that because my ancestors aren't elevated, but I love them so much. Again, you have elevated ancestors in your lineage when you start working with the land ancestors. This land ancestors are elevated ancestors. Let me say that. These ancestors are old. They go back hundreds and thousands of years, some of them. They have not been touched by a lot of this trauma. They have been elevated already. These are the ancestors that could be saints, that could be shamans, that could be seers, that were very highly root workers that were connected to the land. That's what happens. That's what those speaking with land spirits. They're going to automatically bring in those ancestors because those ancestor spirits live in the land. Is it making sense to you? Because they were using plant medicine and all those things. They understood the spirits of plants, dirt, trees. I'm going to definitely do that. I'm going to join Patreon because your lives pop up right in time. Yes, I understand. Okay. And we happy to have you, Star. Happy to have you. Happy to have you. And if you're interested in learning hoodoo, because I don't, I'm just, what I'm trying to say here. It is very important that you have a solid foundation in hoodoo. What is the solid foundation? The ancestor veneration and healing. The magic gone is a byproduct of the relationship with the ancestors and doing the work. Believe me when I tell you this. They're gonna be showing you stuff as you read and begin to expand your mind, because when you read and you start learning things, you're expanding your consciousness. You're reaching in the to into those spiritual realms when you start expanding your consciousness. So when you start filling yourself with this information, the ancestors gonna start talking to you. Okay, you're gonna be getting these, getting these thoughts in your head. Do this, do that. I think you should do that. You'll hear that little voice in your head if you're doing the work. Okay, I'm just focusing on my shadow work and uplifting my ancestors. That's it for now. They'll start moving you to do stuff. I had somebody, I just talked about her yesterday, bless her heart. She just had a breakthrough. God, I'm so happy about her breakthrough. Honey, we had a healing circle meeting the other day, and we were all talking about what was going on with us. See, when you come to our healing meetings, if you're in I know thyself membership, because that comes with the shadow work workshop. And if you can't if you don't get in the group and you don't do the work, you won't, whatever you put in, that's what you get out. And so she was in there and she was sharing her experience, and I said, you know what, we have our a book that I gave y'all with these prayers in here. Did y'all get the book? And she was like, I didn't think I got to that part. And so, nerdy me, because I go through every book and read everything. It's just a shame, God. I'm trying to do better. But I sent those prayers to her, and she, the ancestors led her on how to use them and everything, and she got a breakthrough. And you could just feel that through her testimony when she was messaging me in our chat community. I was like, it is never a problem. Yes, I love that. It was just such a beautiful story. So these are the things that I like to see, and that will happen when you earnestly start doing the work. When you honestly start doing the work, you're going to see results. The ancestors is going to lead you to do the work, and you're going to see results. Where do you find those levels to join? Soon as you go to the site, you should be going to Patreon, and it should give you a variety of options of levels. So, if you go there, you should see them. Um, and we got several levels. We got the occult level, which I think that's $5, and that's if you want to just read. I just want to read and learn. I'm just getting my toes wet. Just want to read. I'm just looking. So you'll get all the literature and all the books that we review uh with the occult. With the ritual tier, you're saying, hey, I'm consistent at my ancestor veneration. I want to learn more rituals to do with them. I want to work with the archangels. I want to work with the saints. I want to really focus on getting my ritual and my structure together with ritual. Then that's for you. Okay. Those are more isolated and targeted memberships. Then you have your conjure. You have those. I've done my shadow work. I've perfected ancestor veneration. I did my shadow work. I'm good on my ritual. I have that down pat. Now I want to work with the spirits. I want to do some big stepping, high stepping. I want to learn how to do conjure and work with spirits. We have that one. I think the ritual tier is $10. Uh, the conjure tier is $20, and then we have the know thyself. The know thyself is I want to learn everything. I don't know anything. I want to learn everything. You get everything plus the shadow work workshop that comes with that. And we meet. I try to meet at least twice a month with the healing circle. You get a manual in there to guide you on your shadow work. And I'm thinking next month we're probably going to go into phase 2 of the shadow work program. Okay, so you'll get that. So that know thyself covers that. You get all that and then the shadow work. The other ones are more isolated. Now, even if you get those tiers, you will still get shadow work resources. I'm just going to assume that you're doing it if you're not in our know thyself membership. Okay, I'm gonna still put it in your face. I don't care. It says gift is where I actually joined though. I can't see what you see, so it's hard for me to help you with that. I'm trying to join your Patreon. I'm having an issue. It will only let me gift, not join. I don't know why it's doing that. I would go directly to Patreon. I don't know why I would be doing that, beloved. I don't. I have no idea why we'd be doing that. You probably want to refresh it or go straight to Patreon and go there. I don't know why we'd be doing that. People have been having issues with that. Know that I don't have any control mechanisms to control it. It's a independent platform that our community is at. Some things I can see, some things I cannot, and I definitely would not be able to see that. I will refresh that and come back out and go back in if you're having issues with that. Okay, that's my suggestion on that. So again, those are the options. Very affordable, very affordable. They're very affordable. I don't think you're gonna find anyone who can beat those prices. Not, with quality services. Someone who is there, that is present, that is active, that is engaging in your healing, that's available. I don't think you're gonna get. I don't think you're gonna beat that because the quality uh, that is provided over there and all the resources that's available for you. I don't think you're gonna find that anywhere else. Not for the prices that I offer, and I did that on purpose. I'm kind of sick of the misleading and kind of tired of the misleading information and people not understanding hoodoo as a science. So I did it at that rate to make it affordable to everyone. Okay, I've been trying for days to join. I try refresh. I don't know why you would be. I don't know where. Two Nova, where are you located? What region are you located in? I don't know why you would be having problems. Uh, it might be Los Angeles. I don't know why that would be happening. I really don't. I don't know why that would be happening. I have some people that have a little trouble, maybe about 5 minutes trying to get in, and then after that, it lets them in. But I don't know why that would be happening. Okay, so again, I made it very affordable for you. Even our astro readings, people, you have your natal charts, and you say, "Oh, I know my characteristics. I can understand a little bit about me." You want to go deeper? You want me to break it down for you and give you your root work and conjure work and what you came here to do to get yourself in alignment with your gifts and your talents and the soul work you're supposed to do right now? Give it to me, and I'm going to give you your work to you because that is your root work. That is your soul work. When I'm gonna break it down to you hoodoo style and let you know what you need to be doing with your ancestors, what kind of work you need to be getting in alignment with. I don't know why that's happening. I don't know that's why that's happening over. I don't know. I don't know. Are you going directly to Patreon? Go directly to Patreon and then look up spiritual roots. That's the only thing I can suggest to you. When I've suggested that, people have had success. So if that's not working, I don't know what to do, sweetie. I can't see what you see. We'll do that we do that on your Patreon. We what do that on your I don't understand the question. Peace, y'all. What do that on your I don't understand that. I don't understand that question, Amico. I understand the question. I got the honoring your ancestors book from the library on Kindle. Honoring your ancestors. Who is the book by Black Magic Mike? I couldn't understand what you were saying, Amico. I'm sorry. Hi, Tierra. Hello, TikTok family. Hello, YouTube family. But again, if you're interested in an astro reading, those are $15. My tarot reading is $35. Okay. Astro reading, $15. Tarot reading, um, is $35. If you want the astro reading where I break down your chart, I think it gives you a head start and more clarity on what you should be doing when you start your hoodoo journey. You really get put things in perspective for you. But it's $15. If you wanted that, DM me. Let me put my email address in the chat. If you want that, DM me and your time, date, and place of birth along with email address. I'm gonna put this in the chat for my YouTube family in case somebody wants to. So if you email me or you DM me, please give me your time, your date, your place of birth. Okay, I need that. And if you are on TikTok, provide your email address. I'll send you out an invoice. When that's completed, I'll get the cracking and breaking down your chart. You should receive it in a day or so. Okay. And so everything is afforded if that's something that you're interested in, because we break it. We have to go to the beginning. You have to go to the beginning and really understand hoodoo as a science. And that's the way we break it down like that. Because you'll start seeing when you do XYZ, you get results. That's simple. You need to start out simply. And then as you develop more with your ancestors, then you can start doing more advanced work. But starting out with getting elements, again, just DM me. Just DM me. What's your email? Just DM me here on the platform on TikTok. TikTok, you just DM me. You give me your email address, okay? Your place, your time, and date of birth. Just DM it to me, okay? Now for my YouTube family, I have already put my email address in there, and you know what to do. I joined the Know Thyself tier, and it has been abundance of knowledge. This is Kathy Harris. Kathy Harris says, I joined the Know Thyself tier, and it is an abundance of knowledge. When you join, be prepared to learn because the material is there. It's there. The only way you don't get what you don't get over there is because you don't show up. And sometimes I be doing extra stuff. As y'all say, I be doing too much. Sometimes I ask y'all what book review y'all want to go over. If you're not understanding stuff, I'm going to do a poll in there and check on you and see what's going on with you. I sometimes I throw quizzes in there to help you to see if you are again comprehending the information. Because just because people read it don't mean they understand it. And sometimes you may need us to do a live stream on the book that you're not properly comprehending. And if that is so, and you say I don't understand that, then okay, we'll do a book review, but I'll let you lead it because you need to be explaining what you don't understand, and the other people in our community again can start giving their insight and shares on their comprehension of it. So we have a discussion here. I'm not going to tell you what it means. You're going to tell me what it means. Then we're going to have a collaboration discussion about it, because everybody got a different perspective. That's why you see me go over things 2 or 3 times, because I know everybody learn different. I don't know what's gonna come out my mouth. That's you gonna have your aha moment, and you just get hoodoo. And sometimes that happen. Is your YouTube name your TikTok name? Absolutely, it is. Hi, Ami. Okay. So I don't know what's going. I'll go over things. We going over things 2 or 3 times. Sometimes I'll throw it back at them again. Okay. Sometimes I'll do that. If I find something that is, I feel like that it's going to help you understand resources that is going to help you understand hoodoo. Again, I'm going to do a lecture on it. We're going to talk about it. Okay, it's just too many resources over there for you not to understand it. If you don't get hoodoo, if you don't progress on your journey, it's because you didn't put no investment in it. It's because you didn't integrate it in your life. You really find out if you really want hoodoo over there, because it's too many materials over there, too many resources, too many lectures, too many opportunities, too much support for you not to see results on your journey. So if you don't see nothing shaking and jumping, it's because you didn't do nothing to get it shaking and jumping. I'm so excited to join community. I was just talking about this. Okay, you're gonna see. It's just gonna be more and more and more. And at some point, I'm gonna have to take a break to give a lot of people time to kind of catch up and not feel like they have to rush through it, because it's definitely not a rush over there. The material is gonna be there. Okay, at some point I'm gonna have to stop, and I'm thinking about stopping and probably going into more lectures on some of the stuff. But you got too many resources to not to know. The only way you don't know is because you don't open up the resources and look at them and read them. And if you don't like reading and looking at things, then I suggest that you get a voice reader. They have those apps where it will read books to you. Okay. The link is in the bio, Leo. It's in our bio. It's at it's at Patreon. The name of our community is called Spiritual Roots. It's on Patreon. Our community is on Patreon and it's called Spiritual Roots. You can try the link in the bio, but people been saying they've been having problems with it. I don't know. Thank you so much for the blueprint. It resonated so much with me. I set up my altar today. Look at Ami. Ami got her blueprint, sent those out a few days ago, broke those down. You'll see it'll resonate with some of the things that you have going on in there. Okay? It'll resonate. That's how astrology do, because that is your soul work. That is your unique fingerprint. And so when you get in there, you kind of find your unique magic and the element that you're more likely to work better with. It just takes a lot of the guessing out of it. That's how I look at it. Okay. So again, if that's something you're interested in, get over there to our community. It just got too many resources. You're gonna be like, wow, what? Yeah. Okay. You still got people that's still going through things, you know. And so from time to time, and I tell you, get in that chat, talk to me, let me know what you need. Okay. Closed mouth can't be fed. If you don't, I don't know you hungry, I can't help you. So if you got something going on, chat, get in that group chat. Okay. All the resources and support is there. I don't just put you over there and leave you and just take your money. I don't get down like that. I'm pretty nosy. I'm always over there checking messages in the chat, interacting, finding ways to interact with you so I can support you. Okay. We'll have to watch that too. But yeah. Okay. And so let's get back on the land ancestors again. Now, across the Americas, and you think it's just in America, but you know that you can find these mounds pretty much all over the world and in different locations. I'm going to join the community as well. Well, welcome. We're going to be glad to have you. Yeah, you're so genuine and helpful. Thank you. You're welcome, seeker of no. Um, Again, you find these mounds all over the Americas. Okay, ancient mounds are sacred earthworks, stand as quiet sentinels' memories. These sites are not just archaeological curiosities, they are living testaments to the intelligence, spirituality, and the sacred relationship our ancestors held with the land. To those who walked a spiritual path rooted in ancestral reverence, these mounds are gateways, portals that connect us with the land ancestors who once walked, healed, and prayed upon the very soil. What was going on at the mounds? What other burial mounds? Because again, we love going to the graveyard to visit our ancestors and things like that. We know they're present there. What do you think is at those burial mounds? Burial mounds served as a sacred resting place for revered ancestors or elders, healers, warriors, and community leaders. That's what happens when you go out there and start giving offers and talking to that land and going to the burial mounds. The ancestors hear you. That's what happens when you go out there and start communicating with land. And that's why I tell people go to those. You're missing out. You're doing yourself a disservice. Not going to the land, giving offerings, doing rituals out there. That's the power. That's the power I want in my magic. That is the power that gives power to my magic. All those elements, all those ancestors that's associated with the fire, that's associated with the water, that's associated with the land, with the air. Those are the very things that is powering my work. So I'm gonna hurry up and go out there and make friends with them and be out there talking and telling them what's going on with me. How do you feel about them sealing the Grand Canyon? I, th- Look, they hiding stuff. I just told you when we looked at them Pueblo ancestors trying to they naming these people something else. I'm trying not to get mad about it. They don't want you to know who's who up in there. They know exactly what they doing. They know them ancestors up in there. There's all types of stuff in there. Just like you look at Arizona, they got all those artifacts to let you know that ancient Kemet was there in Arizona. You got people out from all over the world going over there looking at those artifacts over there in Arizona. Hey, royal goddess. Mm-hmm. It's mounds and pyramids in there too. They're everywhere. Our ancestors knew what they was doing. It's hard to wipe out somebody who was here first because they left too much evidence that they was here first. And then the people that you claiming they just your story don't hold no water because them people absolutely say they ain't do that. And if they was doing it, they'll still be doing it now. Okay, they let you know we didn't do that. That was already here when we got here. Miss Penny, have a very good Monday. I have to do my reading and get ready for bed. I will listen to the replay in the morning. Well, thank you so much, Black Magic, for coming in here. Black Magic Mike, you have a good night. Okay. So that's when you go down to that burial mound, that's what's going on. Offering things such as food, shells, uh pottery, copper, crystals, or sacred herbs were buried with the dead to aid them in the spirit world. They're letting you know some of them are called burial mounds too. Go down there and sit and feel. You can feel them down there. Okay, you can sit and feel. That's why you need to sit down and be quiet. You talk too much. You're on social media too much. Hush your mouth. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't. We don't be knowing what we're talking about. Ain't nothing gonna come through till you sit down and hush your mouth and put your cell phone down and stop following people. Them spirits ain't gonna talk to you till you learn how to hush your mouth and listen and trust what's going on the inside of you because it's in there. Okay. Can I put cowrie shells on my altar? I don't know. Can you? Is that what your ancestors want for you? Cowrie shells represent water. They represent prosperity. They're divine feminine. That's what I know about them. But if it's on your ancestor altar, if your ancestors is leading you to put it on there, trust what your ancestors is telling you. You know, if you feel like you're supposed to go up there and it's an urge and you put it up there, that's the ancestors, you guys. Trust what's going on with you. You keep messing with me, you gonna be standing on that hoodoo real strong. You're gonna be standing on them ancestors real strong because I'm gonna send you right back over there. You're gonna trust yourself. Because that's the problem. You don't trust yourself. You're gonna trust these people and stuff more than you trust yourself and your ancestors. We're gonna cut that out. We just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna let you do it. And you did tell me I have Yemiya as my guide, so I will. See? I just took her back to that and she saw that for herself. See? She got some water spirits in her chart. She see. I'm gonna send you right back to that because you already know the answer. Why are you asking me? That's the ancestors in you. Trust it. Stop thinking somebody know more than you or your ancestors. They don't. And I'm gonna send you right back to that so you can recognize that because you're gonna stop doing that. Stop doing it. You're gonna get stronger and stronger in your practice. I just had somebody in my box the other day. Uh another one of them Babaloas. Do you hear me? He was in my box yesterday. I politely tell him, no, sir, you should be an Ifa. And I think he was in this live stream. And I was being nice. I really don't, I like to give you an opportunity and I'll and give people mercy and compassion. The same mercy and compassion that's extended to me through my ancestors and the great spirit. So I try to extend that type of, you know, energy to other people. But when I've set the boundary and I've told you, no, I do not want to be an Ifa. My ancestors have not told me to get over there. You are not even supposed to be doing that anyway. I said, no, thank you, sir, but thank you very much. Well, you know, I said, why do you keep asking me this? I've told you this once. Why do you keep asking me this? That's the question you need to be asking yourself. Never could really break that down to me why he's asking me because this was like he asked me like 3 times within that time frame, and I had to tell him, sir, thank you so much for extending the invitation to your religion, but I am not interested. When most people that get over here, that's what he told me. When you get over here in Ifa, we have helped people into Ifa, Lukumi, and something else he said. Could have been a scam. I don't even know because I ain't never heard no Babylon say nothing like that. But he was talking about how people that seen changes in their life. I said, I see changes in my life right now with my ancestors. And then he gonna tell me thanks to the Orisha and the Olodumare. What are you doing, sir? Because the ancestors are in Ifa. What are you doing? After that, I just blocked him because I was like, no, you're not even supposed to be trying to initiate. Why are you trying to get me in there so bad? Because you know my ancestors ain't told me that. So you to just bypass my ancestors for your religion. Make it make sense. I'm telling y'all, be careful out there with these people because they're not supposed to be sitting up trying to initiate you into some. Hey, Miss Penny, I'm glad I caught you alive. How you doing today so far? I'm doing so beautiful. Antoinette Williams, thank you for being in the live stream, baby. Okay? I ain't supposed to be even doing that. You supposed to be praying for me or coming in my inbox. Said, praise be the ancestors, sister. I'm so glad they over your life. May Ifa bless you. May the Orishas walk with you. I'm glad that that's what you supposed to be in my box saying, not sitting up there trying to pull me into that. My ancestors supposed to be dragging myself over there. If that's I'm supposed to be in there, believe me, they drag you over there in that. You These folks want titles. I am not concerned with a title. I'm not concerned of being binded or packed with a spirit like that. That is not my calling. I don't feel like that's my calling. That's not what the ancestors have put for me. Do I know a lot about them? Absolutely. Have I studied them? Absolutely. Do I respect them? Absolutely. Do they have their place? Absolutely. Am I supposed to be over there? No. Yes, they are because they'll encourage you strongly to do ancestor veneration, at least the Babaloa. That's what he supposed to be telling me that. He supposed to be giving me some. Have you tried this with your ancestors? I got something for you to help you with your ancestors. I got something like that. Let me do a do to you and see if your ancestors, what's going on with you and your ancestors. Let me that. Not trying to initiate me into that. That is not what they're supposed to be doing. And I'm bust you out. You need to get somewhere and sit down and be quiet and talk. Really go do the work with your orishas and do what you're supposed to be doing and stop doing that. Okay, stop it. You're not supposed to be doing that. And stop thinking everybody. Too many of us is falling for that. That's what I'm telling y'all. Too many of us is falling for that mess. And baby, I put them ancestors in their face because you're not playing with me. You understand me? You ain't done nothing go bypass the ancestors. The ancestors are venerated first in all y'all ATR. So now you gonna try to act like the ancestors ain't important. What is wrong with you? Because if it wasn't for the ancestors, you wouldn't have Ifa. You wouldn't be able to again talk to these elemental spirits if it wasn't for the ancestors. So just get out of my face. Look at and said my Baba encouraged me to do the ancestor veneration first before anything. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Because if your ancestors don't want you to go or be over there, your initiation ain't gonna go right. And that's the fact, Jack. That's why they got to get you right with them before they even bring you over there with them. And if your ancestors don't approve, you ain't gonna it's not gonna work. I know what I'm talking about now. Them folks ain't supposed to be doing that. That boy stayed in my box like that. I said, I'm gonna have to block him because he's gonna keep on trying to solicit a religion to me. Now, if Ifa is that sacred, why is it for sale? Because I'm definitely not going in nobody box trying to drag them into hoodoo. This I'm off. I'm done with that. Okay, I'm just done. You can just stick a fork in me. I am done with that. I had to block that guy. And this he had that did this like 3 times. I think he was in the live stream too, if I'm not mistaken. Because when he jumped in my box, I was like, he was just in the live stream. Why is he in my box? Like he know uh that again, I follow ancestral practice. I'm already in hoodoo. I am not impressed by titles. My ancestors already told me that stuff don't make no difference. We don't give a flying flip about a title. What we care about is the relationship you got with us, is with spirit. We don't care about those titles, baby. That don't mean nothing over here. You could have 5 of them, and folks will pass you over here in this world like you're nothing. We don't care about that. Now, is the ancestors lying? So you calling the ancestors a lie? I can't wait for the spring so I can pour libations and go in nature. You ain't gotta wait the spring. You get your plant too. You know, you get your plant too, Army. You get a poppy with a really good plant. Okay. I can't. I don't know what's going on today. Y'all beware because I don't know. This is a different brand of individuals that's representing IFA. And I know in the early 2000s and late 90s, you didn't run into them like that. They were trying to give you a dude that was trying to pray for you. They were giving you, tips on how to communicate with your ancestors. They was giving people insight, helping people. And then that would through their insight and guidance and doing divination, that would inspire people and move people to want to join the religion. That is the way they're supposed. Judge them by the fruits, by their fruits. I look at your fruits. Like I'm coming here, I'm sharing this with people. I let them know what's going on. They make a choice whether they want to join our community. I'm not in their inbox trying to solicit to them. Get up here and talk about the signs of a Ifa and a Risha instead of dragging people and let them understand it, and instead of having them going in blind like that. Do that. If you're gonna do anything, get out of people's box and trying to. I don't know what you're doing to people. I don't know what them rituals is doing. Okay, facts and true. Especially this spring come up, I will be ready. Okay, I'm going to be ready. Okay, so y'all be careful out there with these folks. And I had to get that man out my box and just. I said I'm gonna have to block him because some kind of way in his mind this supposed to go this way, and I absolutely know it don't go that way. Who you think you talking to? Everybody, y'all done fool so many people and trick so many people. You just think everybody supposed to go for the scam bam because people are so infatuated with titles and things like that. The title doesn't mean that you're gonna be able to work properly with that spirit. Know that because you're gonna do your work over here. I don't know no spirit. These spirits, and they make you do your work. You have to earn their trust. And sometimes you gotta call. You gotta be persistent about calling them before they come. They want people money. The American money goes far in Nigeria, and they feel like we're rich. They better get somewhere and sit down and stop playing with spirits and stop playing with our ancestors because you're making it bad. You only making it bad where you are. You think our ancestors like you doing that mess? Do you think that? And then you wonder why you walking in a circle because our ancestors probably turn your ass up because you want to take advantage of people. You need to get somewhere and sit down and do something with yourself. Just doing raggedy stuff, just raggedy. It's just so raggedy. And you a representation of the ancestors. Other ancestors are ashamed of you because that raggediness, they don't represent that. Get somewhere and sit down. I'm starting to see a little of how sick we are in America. I'm telling you. And then we go for that. We go. I'm telling you, I've had people. I had this young lady come in there. She really thought she was in some type of ATR. And when she got to talking to me, I knew right off the bat that she was not initiated into an ATR. She had paid hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for this. But the spirit told me you better not tell her that because she gonna get mad. Because she really believed because she know all these spells that she's initiated. And I knew that she was not initiated. So again, people falling for this stuff, because you want this title. You think that if you get initiated into this spirit gonna work with you. No. If you don't know how to work with your ancestors, you don't even know mediumship abilities, you don't know any of that, how is that going to happen? You know, you got to think, people, think. You get over here with your ancestors, they going to help you discern. They're gonna help you discern. You tired of people taking advantage of you? You tired of all of that stuff? Get over here with your ancestors, start doing the shadow work and see why you a people pleaser, why you like following people, why you love excitement, why you think somebody better than you, why you got low self-esteem, why you want somebody telling you what to do, why you codependent, because that's what's going on with you. You'll stop that real quick because the ancestors gonna have you somewhere, sit down, being quiet and following them. You're gonna stop that real quick. You want to discern, you're gonna start saying no to. They're gonna start having you say no. No, it means no. And you better not feel guilty. You better get over there and love on yourself because somebody didn't do that for you. So get over there. You out here trying to find something outside yourself and to love on the inside. Get somewhere and sit down and love on yourself. That's what's gonna happen. You have to learn to love yourself and stop looking outside yourself. Having Americans pay for Ebo and different amounts of money, and they're playing in their face. Don't do it. And tell them folks that it's about to be over for them. In some of these countries, they don't even want them in some of their countries. They look at your passport, and you know, they don't some of them they don't want them in their country. They are barred from different people's country because of this raggedy stuff that you're doing, and you need to stop it. Stop it. Just stop it. And you're doing this again. You are messing with forces and elements that can wreak havoc on you for generations. Doing stuff like that. I'm telling you now, you're messing with stuff you don't understand for some money. And them spirits can mess up your whole generation, your whole bloodline. So you keep playing with stuff like that and think you getting far. Can't be getting too far with it because if you was, you wouldn't have to keep on doing it. Get somewhere and sit down. I had to delete that boy out my box. I had to block that boy out my box as he just kept on. And you know damn well my ancestors ain't told me to come over there, and your ancestors ain't told you to get up in my box like that. Because if it did, you would have started with a prayer. And that's what they're in for. The real ones, they're in there for the community. Okay? And their ancestors dragged them over there in that. You got some people born in it and don't want to be in it. But because it's in their lineage, that to have a priest or priestess in the tradition, they have to be in it. I love when you say raggedy and just sit down somewhere. You so right, Miss Penny. They do. They need to sit down somewhere. That's the best thing I say for them. Say to them, get somewhere and sit down, cause you know your ancestors ain't told you nothing like that. You just out here being raggedy, and you ain't got to be like that. Okay, your ancestors. That's not a good representation of them. That's not. And so just don't do it. And please, people, stay away from these people trying to drag you into that. Because and then this are not on your land. These ancestors, these people, these what they're trying to connect you with is not on from the Americas. You got too many ancestors here that in Americas that have shed their blood, that have given so much for you start running off there and doing stuff like that. Don't do it until the ancestors lead you to do it. And like I've told you, when we start going into this stuff a little deeper, you start to see voodoo. And I heard a young lady say, I disagree with her. She said, voodoo, there's no voodoo in New Orleans. It's absolutely, it's voodoo over there. Voodoo was already in America, so let's just cut it out. There was a form of voodoo already in the Americas. Every indigenous cultures have a form of voodoo. It will not look the same. So let's just cut it out. It was already here. And you already got them people saying, some of the people in Yoruba, because they said Ifa come from, they're saying Ifa, their Orishas came from Africa. The ancestors already told me, but you'll probably find it out later that it was already in the Americas. But you got some people in Yoruba over there in Ifa saying that their ancestors came from America. That's what they're saying. Some of the Yoruba people up there in Ifa, in their history, their ancestors are saying they are from America. That's like they telling you, uh, everybody come from Africa. You know that's a lie. You know America is the most ancient land. You know that. The artifacts, the land is telling you how old it is. Stop listening to these people. Look at the land. Look how old the pyramids is. Look how many pyramids you got in America. Stop listening. The land is telling you the story. People are lie, but the land and the ancestors gonna tell you the truth. These people sitting up here lying. Look at the land. The land gonna tell you the truth. You got pyramid mounds. You got these mounds over here and pyramids over there in Americas that are older than some of the artifacts in Africa. You do the math. But they gonna keep that out of history. They letting you know what it is when you hear them talking about the Mayans and Aztecs. Why you think they talking about that? Why you think that them your ancestors? But they call them by these different names though. You got again the colonizer calling, giving your ancestors name to confuse you. So you think they different people, but they the same damn people. That's why we had to look over there at Mexican Magic and look at their history because again, we're following the path of the ancestors. We're not looking so much at we're not looking so much at the people of the history. We're following the path of the ancestors when we follow what the land is telling us. I hope you understand what I'm saying to you. These people be lying sometimes. You sit down and talk to your ancestors and talk to this land. You be like, is that true? I have sat there and then find out years later somebody revealed and find out what the ancestors told me. I'm like, oh my God, they wasn't lying. They said, girl, we wasn't lying to you. We know what we're talking about. Them people be lying, girl. We know who we is and where we from. We know who you from. We know who you is. You keep on saying you from here, girl. We keep telling you, child, you been here. We been here. Santeria, hoodoo are so much of the same thing. That's why we cover it all, That's why when you get in our community, I can't teach you hoodoo without looking at looking at Mexican magic. When you look at Mexican magic, it look like hoodoo too. You look at banda, it look like hoodoo too. You look at Obia, it look like hoodoo too. You start looking at how our ancestors that this was in their blood. They carried magic was already in them, no matter where they was or what they was doing. The magic was there. That's why we have to look at it to understand hoodoo. We have to. I cannot have you not look at that because those are your ancestors. No matter where they was, those still the same ancestors. They still had the same magic in them. So we have to look at it. Okay, that's gonna help you comprehend hoodoo a lot better when you start looking at the elements and things up in there. So we have to look. We look at it all. When I tell you you ain't got no excuse not to know about your ancestral magic, I mean that because I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna break it down and I'm gonna put it back together for you. I'm gonna break it down again for you and put it back together for you. I can do that a couple of times if you want me to. This is just how long I done dived into this and studied this and researched it. I can go through a book really quick because I've been doing this for a long time. Okay. Ifa and Hoodoo are sisters. Lukumi Satira is the cousin. See, they're all related to each other. Yeah, they may be different because depending on where they was dealing with, trying to keep it alive, they put it together differently. The systems may look different, but um the practice is basically the same. It's still Orisha centered. They didn't take them Orishas out of it, did it? They didn't take them saints out of it, did it? They didn't. They put them right in the center and start putting rituals and ceremonies around that calling cards so they can work more successfully with them. That's what they did. The only difference is where is the practice in the country. There go Amish in there dropping gems down there in the chat. Be the same thing. That's why I have to look at Mexican magic. We have to look at folk magic. We getting ready to dive in. If that lecture haven't already dropped, we dealing with North American folk magic. But you can't have North American folk magic without hoodoo, conjuring, root work. They have to mention you. In fact, I'll say this again. It cannot be overstated how much contribution that black people have given to North American magic. Their magic they don't know nothing about their magic unless they talk about you. I show it with your own big beautiful eyes. I show it to you. That's why I give you the material to let you know I ain't making stuff up. I ain't making stuff up. It's just that I've read it so long and studied it so long. The ancestors have helped me understand that. I know now. I know how to sit up and talk about it. They help me understand. Okay, and that's why I can come here and I can relay it back to you. Now, many of the mounds were aligned with the solstices and equinoxes and star constellations, serving as calendars for the agricultural spiritual ceremonies. Communities gathered to honor the changing of the seasons, to bless the crops, to invoke balance between the people and nature. The mound became the focal point where earth met sky, a temple for sun rituals, moon rites, and seasonal renewals. So, what you think that's going to happen when you go out there and start doing offers and pouring libations at those burial mounds? You start activating those ancestors. You start waking those ancestors up, and you're more likely to have some type of ancestral contact. So be looking for the signs. If you stay near any archaeological sites where ancestors have been, even those, just those old archaeological sites that are towns that our ancestors developed. Start pouring libations. Start praying for them out there. They see you, they watch you, they're looking at you. Okay, and our ancestors covered hoodoo in Catholicism. The saints are the Orishas. That's why I have to look at we have to look at the Mexicans too, because the Mexicans we have to look at too. That's why I had to put those materials in there, because the Mexicans, our ancestors from that side of the world, perfected working with saints. Let me put it that way. Because these names, they calling people different names. They be the same damn people, but because the colonizing came in and colonized them people, they call them people different names. And the people don't even know who they is. Hell, we did y'all done made us forget who we is by calling us by these different damn names. Okay. But you start looking at them, they have perfected the art of working with science. Oh, they got the inside information. That's why you need to be looking at their materials. They're gonna show you how to set up that table. They are experts at setting up a table, working with a saint. Honey, you gonna go up in them Catholic church and they are conjuring in the church. In the they couldn't stop that. Them our ancestors, just like they couldn't stop us from doing hoodoo. They couldn't stop them from doing conjuring hoodoo in that church. You go up in the church right now, especially if it's in a Latina or Mexican community, go back at the back there. They lighting candles on petitions back there, baby. Go just ask them, can I burn my candle in here? If it's in a Latina community, they're gonna point you in a room, a conjure room where everybody is burning candles on petitions. They tried to stop that, but they couldn't, because if they stop that, they're gonna lose their church and their members. A whole altar in the church. And you hear me? They couldn't cut that out. They conjure right there. They conjure right there in the church. Don't you underestimate them old Hispanic women that got them rosaries in their hand. Don't you underestimate them. They can call down some power. Do you understand me? With that rosary in their hand. Now them are you think you have met a powerful witch. You ain't met one till you come up against one of them. They look so nice, so sweet. But when they open their mouth and bend their knees and pick up that rosary, they'll make some stuff move. I'm just telling you the truth. The Abula. It was the Abuela and the Tia. She's put it right in there that they can call up some stuff. Okay? Because why? They have a strong ancestral lineage linked to that land. They never they never really they were able to preserve a lot of that knowledge that was linked to our indigenous ancestors. So you will see it preserved over there with them. So that's why we look at it because they have preserved some ancestral knowledge. That's why we look at other ATRs because we're looking at the preserved ancestral science and knowledge that's in there. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So when you're going down there to the burial mounds and you're going to these ancient artifacts such as the pyramids and things like that, it's a good idea to go ahead and pour libations and leave some sort of offering. You'll be surprised how the ancestors show up. Okay. You're just strengthening your link to them and activating that magic in you when you start talking to them. Okay. The mounds hold ancestral memory. They were often places of healing, initiation. Shamans, root doctors, seers would perform ceremonies there to seek visions, guidance, and empowerment. The soil itself was considered sacred, infused with the power of those who built and prayed upon it. So again, it's like they did a lot of ceremonies there. You can see that, especially I think it's a mounds in Illinois, but that you can walk. It looks almost like a pyramid. You can walk at the top, and so when you start seeing those those mounds like that, you know that they were doing rituals and ceremonies and healing ceremonies and things up there. So you can pour libations, and they try to close off them parks. It's me crazy me. I was trying to figure out a way because I was wanting to do a ritual one night with the full moon, but I want to do it at the mounds. You know, they close them parks at night. And hear me, I considered it, you guys. This is just how, some of us spiritualists are. Because you have some spiritualists jumping, going in the graveyard at night trying to get in there when it's closed. But I was seriously thinking about trying to jump that gate at night and do a ritual over there with those ancestors. And then I just came to I was trying to plan that in my head. So I said, girl, you know that shit ain't gonna work. You're gonna go to jail. You're gonna go to jail. You're gonna go to jail. Them people gonna think you weird. You're gonna go to jail because you up there trying to do a ritual and take all that stuff out there and do a ritual out there on the mounds. And of course, that mounds were maybe about 20, 30 minutes from my house. I said, I'm not gonna be able to get away if I do that. But that's how my mind work when I go out there and I see those mounds. The first thing I do is how I'm gonna do the ritual, how I'm gonna set this up because I need to be leaving an offering for these ancestors. That's how my mind work, you guys. They done had to shoot a lot of us spiritualists out, close off the cemetery and some of these sites because we go out there and start doing rituals and stuff with the ancestors. Some of them don't like that. Okay. But I sure was thinking about jumping that fence and going over there doing some work. And said, "Girl, that's not gonna work." Every time I try to figure that girl, that's not gonna work. You're gonna get yourself in trouble. You can't do it. I know you want to do it. Just go back, go during the day and sneak your stuff in there. And that's what I did. I just sneaked all my stuff in there. I know, ain't that right, Coach saying? I was gonna do some stuff. I was like, I'm gonna light some stuff up. I'm going out there under my ancestors. I'm gonna go out there and do rituals. They ain't gonna stop me. But I went in there and I snuck my stuff in there and I found a nice little tree by the mounds and set it up. And then I start going in there putting flowers on the river near the mounds. So just making sure I was going down there connected with those ancestors. Because again, they had it used to be a time we ain't had nobody blocking us from that. But now they have blocked our most sacred ceremonial sites and they have made them an amusement. And they are not amusements. They are a place where sacred ceremonies took place, where healing took place. It was a place where we can connect and link back with our ancestors without any disruption. But we can't do that now because y'all think this is some type of amusement. Now we got to go in here and sneak and all this kind of stuff and do stuff with our ancestors. Okay. But I definitely saw a change and a shift and instantly got uh, some ancestral contact when I go to those sites. Okay. So if you can find something like that to link up with you, and then you can also do it with ley lines. I don't want to keep that. I don't miss that. Ley lines. You got different ley lines in different areas where you can connect with ancestral power as well. Trees, forests, like I got the woman. She's in California, and she's going into the woods talking to these trees because trees hold ancestral memory. So she out there working with trees. I think it was called the redwoods in California. Beautiful, big, tall, towering trees. And they're talking to her. She's taking the time to assess the energy that's coming off of them. So this is very real. Okay, no matter what people say, they may say, "You look crazy." No, you look crazy because you don't have enough damn sense to know that if you wouldn't be, if the tree wasn't here, your ass wouldn't be here. So how you gonna call me crazy with talking to a tree or plant? And it without them, we wouldn't be here. So you got to what they have deemed is crazy. They are inside, they are projecting. Okay, they are disconnected from who they truly are. They calling you crazy because you talking to trees and plants. I call you crazy because you don't realize you wouldn't be here without them. So what's wrong with you? What's the matter with you? I just think totally differently, especially when you start understanding this. You see how crazy some people really is, that how disconnected they is. And that's why a lot of spiritual people, we stay to ourselves. We don't even want to be bothered with that. We don't have to explain to you what that is because you should already know. Good is now bad. Yep. They flipped everything. Yep. Got you thinking you crazy. You crazy. He out there hugging that tree, talking to them plants. They crazy. They out there. They don't want to live in no house. They want to live in the woods. They crazy. We want to make you go in the house, and if we catch you sleeping outside, we gonna take you to jail. Ain't that some shit? And outside is free. But they tell you they don't want you in there. They want you in the house. You gonna take you to jail because you ain't in no house. And the whole outside is free. And you gonna take me to jail because I choose to live outside. So I don't want to live in your house. It's restricting my energy, lowering my frequency. I don't want to live in there. Okay? They totally reversed it on you. They totally reversed it on us. That's so crazy when you think about it. Yeah, when you think about it, you really think about that. Your mind, ancestors start dealing with your mind, and that wisdom start coming through. You realize you've been living a whole crazy life they have normalized. You really start seeing the sickness. It's a bittersweet thing. You get a lot of knowledge and wisdom, but that wisdom and knowledge is a two-edged sword. The reality is like a sledgehammer coming down on you. Okay? You want it, but then you can see. You actually can see now. You can really, really see what's going on. And some people ain't ready for that. They got us thinking you need my money. You need my money. No, I need Mother Earth. I need some food. I need to be able, I can't eat any money. I can't drink any money. I can't do any of that. Who idea was it I got to get the money to be able to get the food off the land? What the hell? And the food off the land is literally right freaking there. It's like literally right there. It's like literally right in our backyard. But you have fed me the concept that I can access resources without this money. The stuff is free right there. It's just right there. Where the hell all this money is going? So it don't make no sense to me. I don't, the longer you go on, I think it's just a byproduct of working with spirits. The longer I work with spirits, the more unfamiliar I am with the human experience. I don't even feel human anymore. It because I'm starting to not even connect like that because some of the things it just doesn't make sense. Okay, you'll get like that too. You'll get like that too when you feel like you kind of feel like an alien because when you realize that you're a spirit and these people running around here thinking that they human and ain't got no spirit. And then looking at you and asking you, how can you talk to spirit? Because I realize I am a spirit. What's wrong with you? You can too, but you to convince yourself that you're a human. That's what you convince yourself. Now you're gonna have to reprogram yourself to get that out your mind, cause you ain't that. That's the problem. You've been brainwashed and disconnected. So now you think you can't talk to spirits, and you have failed to realize that you are a spirit. Slow down and think. With that, again, when they indoctrinate you and get you in their religion and stuff, there's no critical thinking going on. Don't forget now, them people that set up and thoroughly convinced us that we came from a man's rib, and I get mad every time I think about it. I believe that stuff. I believe that. I get so mad at myself. I said, "You really believe that, girl? You let them folks sit up, and then your mama sit there and repeat the same thing." I said, "Man, Lord, I get so mad." Okay, I get so mad, but that's what happened. And they sit there in the school and tell you come from Africa, and then your grandmother told you, no, you come from you're Indian. This is what going on, and then they thoroughly convince you that you from Africa, then come up with the outer Africa theory and ignore all the ancient evidence in America. Do I need to meditate to do that? Do you? Do you need to meditate to do that? Do you? If you think you need to meditate to do that, then that's probably what you need to do. Okay? So y'all come up here and I can tell that you guys because I get questions like this. Do you think I should meditate? When I get these questions like this, that lets me know that there is a lack of self confidence in yourself. You don't believe that you have what's in you to might make the correct choice about your spiritual um, path. You need again uh, empowerment and support to believe that you can do it. That's basically what's going on while y'all get over here because you think you can't do it. You think you can't come up with the answers. You think you can't listen to your ancestors. I'm here to tell you, yes, the hell you can. Because if you're asking me, should I be meditating with your ancestors already told you to meditate. Who you playing with? Your ancestors already told you to meditate. That's why you asked me that question. But I'm not going to tell you what to do. Do like your ancestors told you to do. Do like they told you to do. Because if you're asking me that question and if this is in your mind, they have already told you to do that. So stop playing. And I'm not going to say nothing opposite than what they done told you. I'm not going to get in their way. I'm going to take you right back to that because we're going to get that divination and stuff together. You're going to be talking to your ancestors. We covered that thoroughly. We covered divination thoroughly. I want you talking to your ancestors, communicate with your ancestors. You need to have a divination because your first mediumship, learning to work with spirit and hear spirit, is going to be through your ancestors. Your mind are pushing me to meditate since I've set up my altar, and I'm going to do that as soon as I can. Okay, they telling you to do it. Now you second guessing yourself. You gonna come ask Miss Penny. I'm gonna go ask Miss Penny to make sure. No, the hell you ain't. No, the hell you ain't. You gonna go over there and do exactly what they said. And if you want to make sure, you gonna do some type of divination with a pendulum, a dowsing rod, just to confirm it. You ain't gonna be following me because I'm gonna send you right back over there to those ancestors. That's what I'm gonna do. So you're gonna be upset with me because I'm not gonna let you do it. I'm gonna send you right on back there with your ancestors so you can perfect your ancestral communication. And you can talk to me about it. And then I will answer. I'll listen to it and do my assessment, and then I will say, well, let's try it and see if because if they told you that, let's see what happens. Did you do a divination on it? Okay, so if the divination matched up with what they're telling you, what are we talking about here? Because you just need to be doing it. It may not make sense. Sometimes they tell us something that don't make sense, and then at the end of it, it be for your greatest good. Okay, okay. Getting ready to close this out. I don't want to keep y'all long. Now, our medicine people, they use the mounds for purification rites, offerings, or to draw upon the earth's magnetic energy for spiritual work. The land itself remembers. Every grain of soil, every stone, every flowing stream carries the vibration of those who once tended it, cultivated it, communed with it. When we approach ancient mounds or archaeological sites with respect and awareness, we open ourselves to form an ancestral communication that transcends words. It will, I promise you. These are places where the veil between the world thins, allowing us to attune to the wisdom of those who came before, many of whom were shamans, not root doctors, seers, and healers who worked in harmony with Earth's natural rhythms. Now, people have seen lights, flashing lights at some of these mounds too, moving around in the mounds. So there is a presence there. There's presence there at the mounds. Okay. People have talked about seeing little orbs of lights around the mound. So the ancestors are definitely there. There's definitely a spirit there. You will see a lot of that on people's land. Like I told you, I had this man to come to me. We was at the Arkansas Paranormal Expo that they do in Arkansas at the Arkansas Museum in Little Rock. I forgot where this man was, but he was on a paranormal show on the Travel Channel. But he was really trying to get me to go down to his land, and he was having a whole bunch of happenings going on, a lot of paranormal experience and rocks and stuff flying everywhere, and orbs of light everywhere. I want to say he was right there. It seemed like he was close to Rogers, Arkansas, somewhere. I'm not sure. So he come to my table and he got telling me about it, trying to invite me out there. And as soon as he started talking to me about it, the ancestors started talking to me. As he was talking to me, the ancestors telling me what's going on. And he was begging me to give him a read, and I said, I don't even want to read this because this is bad. This is bad. You think you're making some of the amusement, that's bad. You ain't supposed to be on that land, man. That the ancestors on there that own that land, they don't want you there. Period. Point blank. You trying to make this out of some type of amusement or something, but no, them spirits don't want you there. Point blank. You think it's cute, but it's not. This was going on in my mind. And so uh he kept pressing me and pressing me to read him. I said, okay, I'm gonna read him. But mind you not, the ancestors already told me what was going on before I even laid out the cards. So the cards reflect everything that the ancestors told me. And I told him, I said, I picked it up. I said, who died out there? Somebody died out there. It's the spirits, and particularly because they were a person of color. He said, yeah, how did you know? What do you mean? I said, that's what's going on there. A lot of that happened on that land. The land, it truly, honestly, it's not your land. It belongs to somebody else. The person that looked like me who was unalive for the land. And there's not going to be no rest on that land. Okay? And now it ain't good. That's why you over here trying to get the paranormal investigators to stop the bricks from flying everywhere for somebody to get hit upside the head. That ain't gonna stop. Because you ain't supposed to be out there messing with stuff. Period. You're not supposed to be there. There are many of them on ancestral lands that can't live there. They not gonna have no peace. They are built on top of ancestral lands. And that man, he over there thinking that's cute, and that's not cute. And asked me to go out there. No one should be going out there because those ancestors are not happy. They are not happy. Okay? Don't need to be having the paranormal people coming out there, and even after I got finished that reading on him, he was trying to get me to go out there. Ancestor, you better not even take yourself out there. You know better. I said I ain't going. I said no, sir. I will pass. I don't care about you being on TV or none of that stuff. That stuff is gonna turn out bad for you. Okay, you think that's something to play with, but that is not nothing to play with. Those ancestors are not happy, and it's too many people of color that died in that area because of that land. So I don't recommend that you use that as an amusement for some people to come tour. That's gonna get somebody hurt. So you'll have land like that, okay? And a lot of them stay on that land, they don't get no peace. And some of the land they can't do nothing with, can't nobody stay there. There's land like that, okay? And people go up in these places and they think they done got them a nice little house or whatever. The whole time they ain't gonna get no rest on there because of what happened to the ancestors on the land. They ain't gonna put that stuff in mainstream news, but it's very true. It's very, very true. Okay. So again, a lot of our ancestors are connected to the land. And a lot of them have tried to own that land and they can't even rest on the land because of the ancestors that's on there. I kind of think that's what happened with Dixie, because we in Arkansas they have a place over in North Little Rock called Dark Hollow. And everybody says all our grandmothers and great grandfathers said that that was old burial ground. There was old Indian burial ground, and they put all black people over there. It's called Dark Hollow. You can see it. It kind of goes into Dixie too. Dark Hollow reach all back will reach into Dixie too. But I remember my mom telling me there was so much paranormal experience on that land. Spirits, you couldn't tell the spirits from the people. You don't see it that much often. That often. I said, why would they put them on Indian burial ground land? I just don't understand that, because ancestors said because they're the same people. Them the only people could have stayed over there because they know they couldn't stay over there. They're the same people. Okay. That what really clicked in my head, because they were doing a ceremony over there with the black, again, this black woman and this other man. He's supposed to be indigenous, but they found graves where black people and Indians or Native Americans was buried together. See how they try to separate that? And I was looking at that and said they the same people. That's why they in the same graveyard. Stop playing. Stop trying to separate them. They're the same people. And the black lady sitting up there laughing. I said, girl, you the same people. They see they playing these shenanigans and games. Okay, they done reclassified you. And then, they put them people over there like that because they was the same people. And stop playing. Okay. So you'll see some of that. They'll try to divide it up, and I think they're doing that because of the name. Thank you, Tay Taylor. I think they're doing it more of it because of the name. They think the name is going to uh bring that separatism that they're looking for, to separate black people from Indians. It was another book I was reading it like that. I forgot the name of the book, but it was talking about the relationship between Indians and black people. And in the book, the author, he tried hard to separate those people, but I could see right through it's the same damn people. So stop calling them different names. They're the same people. Stop calling them by different names. They're the same people. They work hard and try to divide that, but it's the same people. Okay. And Native Americans, I'm not talking about you because you're a different people. I mean, you're just a different people. Okay. So again, our ancestors, again, they were using these mounds to communicate with spirit. They were doing aligning themselves with these energies. And you'll see too, I know that's been my experience. I would love to visit probably more mounds, but I want to see how many more mounds there are close to a water source. Because the one that was in Arkansas is close to a water source. Can you explain different forms of meditation? Okay, Tanisha, I'm just not saying that. Sorry, baby. I'm gonna speak on it. But again, that those water sources makes that magic even more powerful because water has a lot of psychic energy in it. It really, really does. Especially when you start doing work by a river or a ocean or something like that. That water is alive like that. It just amplifies the magic that much more when you're doing work with those water spirits near that current. Okay. And if you spend time with these elements, spend time with the elements on the river, on the ocean, really look at it because you really learn the nature of these things when you start sitting and looking at trees, sitting and looking at the river. Put that cell phone down. You don't need that. Ain't nothing in there that's more beautiful than nature. I'm gonna tell you right now. Put it down. You don't need it. If you're gonna be using it, use it to look at the water and what's around you, taking pictures. Try to capture something. But put it down and start looking at the nature of things. Look at high flow. Look at the dirt. Where is the dirt at? What can you do with that dirt? What kind of energy is in there? Just really sit down and look at things. Because the spirits is all around you talking to you. Are you listening? Okay. And so uh Tanisha explained, it said, can you explain different forms of meditations? Now, you have meditations, it's different. Again, it's you setting things up. You have meditations where people just focus on their energy, healing their chakras, um, healing on their DNA. You have that where you can focus on doing some inner healing. Your visualization is the most important part, I think, of meditation because you really start to activate the third eye, the inner vision. The inner vision is the third eye. So the better you can imagine and use this right here, the screen in your mind, uh, the better you're going to be able to communicate with spirits because that's how they're going to talk to you, is through your imagination. I have so many people come to me that come have contact with the ancestors doing meditation, and it be right, and I know it be right, and they can't believe it because it was so easy for them. And then they'll come to me and say, am I making it up? And I say, absolutely not. You didn't make that up. Or you think you that smart to make that up? You actually think you have that much information. You know it's coming from a spirit because you didn't have that knowledge. And now you think you making it up. Stop it. Stop dismissing that was the ancestors. They told you that. Stop trying to figure that out and think that you can't do it. That just happened. You just did that. So your imagination, when they're telling you your imagination is so important, that's what they mean. Because I'm telling you, these occultists and Freemasons, when they explain working with spirits, they're going to explain how the spirit appeared to them in their imagination. And what are they doing? What they doing with doing that? They are programming you with the archetype. So when you go, I really don't like listening to them, especially if they pale face, because that's your imagination. They look like that. Cause see y'all, I remember y'all when painted all them angels white, and you painted uh all painted out Jesus white, and then every time y'all go into space, these aliens look milky white. That's your imagination. No, that don't even make sense. This is a melanated universe. That's how you picture them, though. That's for you. But when I picture them, they look like me. And you already see how they actually look. Because Putin, that President Putin, and put it out there, how them saints look. But when the ancestors was coming to me looking like saints, they look just like them pictures that Putin got. That's how they look to me. That's how they look. They don't appear white to me. Them pictures that you see President Putin over there in Russia showing you those black saints and angels, that's how they appear to me. Okay? But they're telling you how it looks. Why you think our ancestors was telling you about how John the Conqueror? That was programming you with that archetype. They was giving an identity to the spirit of the root, personifying it, giving you an archetype. So now when you go and try to work with how John the Conqueror, you got an ancestor spirit that look just like you. That's why they're telling you that. Pale face and palm color. I gotta say it. I got to say it, and that's what they be doing now. That's why I say y'all stay at that new age, cause some I don't know what's going on. I just can't believe it. Okay, I just can't believe that you are talking to a milky pale faced person, and this is a melanated universe, cosmos. Now, if that was green, I could believe that. I would believe you if you said you was talking to a green alien. I would believe that. I would believe that if you told me you was talking to a purple alien. I would believe that. If they was blue, I would believe that. I believe that. Okay? But when you telling me you show me a picture and them things looking like milk, I am done talking to you. I'm done. This conversation is over. I'm sorry. I have to go back. The most person I know of our ancestor in our nation that talked about these other beings was Elisha Muhammad. Y'all need to go read some of his stuff, his old stuff. Okay, Elijah Muhammad talked about coming in contact with these beings, and he said now, that's what he said. And he knew a lot about it because the FBI and the CIA was watching him. Okay, because he said them things was gonna come, and they surrounded the White House, and they went and picked up Elijah Muhammad because they thought he had something to do with it. But Elijah Muhammad told them that they was there and how they looked and how they when they was gonna come, and they came and they picked up Elijah Muhammad. He knew about him. He wrote a whole book on it. You need to look at his information when he starts. I'm gonna listen to somebody look like me. I'm not listening to them because I know them people. Them people don't do right. You already know them people don't do right. They ain't gonna do it right. Okay. So I'm gonna listen to somebody, and I'm not religious, but that man had a spiritual experience that he documented, and I want to hear about it. I want to hear about his experience with that. And that man said he saw them things, and he said they ain't pale face either. That's what he said. And the ancestors was dropping some knowledge, and I ain't talking about his personal life, but I can look at his books and in his experience. The ancestors was dealing with Elisha Muhammad. Go look at his books when he started talking about these galactic ancestors. He was the what when you read his writing, he is talking about galactic ancestors. Go read his books now, and y'all sleeping on him. But if you want to know something about the galactic ancestors and ancestors that out of space or whatever, go read his stuff. Go read his stuff because he telling you that they look like you. Okay, he's saying that they ain't pale face. He's telling you the technology and things that they have. He broke that all down. And what was that in the 40s? Was it in the 40s or the 50s? Honey, it was so many UFOs surrounded by that White House. They went right on and picked up Elijah Muhammad and questioned him because they thought he had something to do with it. And he said, I do not. I told y'all it was real. Okay? You go look, and it is the most fascinating story. And while I was looking at that, it was this most fascinating part of history to me. When I read that and learned about that. So go look at that. I want you to go look at that. A lot of people don't talk about that, but he talks about the mothership. He talks about these very detailed with that. So the ancestors was dealing with him. He was even talking about telling them about where about they could see a certain part in space. and y'all not gonna be able to see it because that's why Allah is. And he was so on target with that. He even told them, y'all even master mathematics, but Allah got mathematics that y'all don't even know nothing about. Elisha Muhammad was in contact with power. You could the ancestors was doing something with his mind. You'll have to do go look it up. There's a lot of information on the mothership on YouTube. I forgot the name of his book because I read that book maybe about 30 years ago. When I was in my young 20s, I was fascinated by his insight from that. Okay, read his books because he was a prophet of Allah. Allah was dealing with him. I just got to say that because of the knowledge that he had when it comes to certain things. Like I told y'all, the ancestors will deal with you like that. When I went to go see the Orishas, they sat there and told me I'm in a part of the universe where they think nothing ain't happening no more. I couldn't make that up. I don't know nothing about no space. I don't know nothing about no space. This is what they told me. I come out of meditation and start researching what they told me, and it's absolutely a part of space where scientists can't get through that everything has come from, but they can't get back there, and they think nothing ain't happening there, but it's stuff still happening there. A lot of evolution molecules are coming from that part of the darkest part of space, but they can't get back there. They can't go that far. I can't make this stuff up. So when you start meditating and visualizing as as well, again, you can use it to heal yourself. You can use it to talk to your ancestors. You already saw that in Black Panther. That boy drunk that stuff and went into meditation and started talking to his ancestors. It's that simple. They was dropping gems on you in Black Panther, but you missed it. I think it's another show called Land of the Ancestors about the Maori people. And this man, he's going into meditation. This is what happens. You will learn a lot. I watch a lot. I love these movies that they have a lot of ancestors in it, a lot of ancestral spirits. And I love those types of movies. But I think this movie is called Land of the Ancestors, and it's talking about these Maori people. And this man, he is going into meditation, getting guidance from his ancestors. And in the show, he's always laying down, laying his head on a tree, and going into meditation and going in to talk to his ancestors. You could like I can't I thought I named them somewhere. I'll probably post them here. But it's a variety. And then when I got into ancestor veneration, I was watching every movie I can about ancestor veneration. I was watching the indigenous, sometimes I ain't know the words to the movie, but I could understand what was going on in the movie. Okay. But that's a really good show when the Mari, talk about their communication with their ancestors. So and then, they put a lot of facts in these movies. They do a lot of research before they start this movie. They put a lot of truth in these movies. You guys should know that. Okay, Pocahontas too. Yeah, they make them folks look like uh, like they look like they don't belong to us. But I tell you, look at the mother plane. There was somebody called the mother plane. Yeah, the mother plane. Uh-huh. The books are called The Message to the Black Man and the Mother Plane. You sure right on me. That's the name of the books. They old books, y'all. But he dropping some knowledge in that right there. I said you cannot say this man didn't have some type of spiritual contact because nobody can make this up. I mean, he's very specific in what he's saying. Just profound writing. So I trust what he's saying. It's just the knowledge that he's dropping there. And then after he dropped all this, those UFOs surrounded the White House like that. And they picked him up. Okay? They don't want you knowing that kind of stuff. They know we got galactic ancestors. They know those galactic ancestors are watching over us. They know that. Can you speak to people receiving channel messages regarding assignments and new roles in New Earth? These things right here, when I see these concepts and things like this, I have complex feelings about that. Okay? I have very complex feelings about that because again, they're looking at something outside of them to save them. We're still doing that same kind of concept when we need to be doing the work to make the planet better because the ancestors are working through us. So again, most of these messages that they're getting from these aliens, the message looks a little like we're coming to Earth to save you. We're coming here to make this a new world and a new planet, and we're coming in here to do it. Still seems like the Jesus out the sky coming in to save us type of thing. So y'all don't have to change that shit that's in you. They ain't got nothing to do with no alien. Alien ain't making you act the way you act. And why would they come here and do something and you don't want to change? Make that make sense. And to me, how you gonna accept the alien and you don't even accept dark folks don't look like you? It make sense to me. Now all of a sudden you friends with an alien with a big eye in the front of their head, and now you can accept them, but you can't accept people that's darker than you. I want to make that make sense. And you gonna be nice to them when they come here. You ain't even nice to the people that's from here. That's from here. You think you gonna be nice to a damn alien? You think they gonna do that? I don't want to hear it from them. I just don't. Now you learn you don't need to be talking to nobody out of space or nothing until you get what's right here. Ain't nobody talking to you. And if they did, they should be telling you to fix your people. They should be giving you some kind of antidote to that. They should be talking about that. Ain't none of them talking about that. And that kind of stuff has wreaked havoc on humanity. And they not talking about that. I don't want to hear none of them people got to say. I don't care what you channeling. I don't care what you doing. Is you changing you? I don't care. I don't believe you. I don't believe them. I don't believe them. Y'all gave us that Bible and all them lies and all that stuff you talking about. Our ancestors were hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years ahead of them in the spiritual science. And you want me to believe everything you got from us. And you want me to believe what you saying? I'm not doing it. You can go for that if you want to. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Ain't nothing you ever gave us or told us has helped us. And all this stuff that you're doing is to keep you in a delusion that you're a good person, and it's preventing you from doing the real hard work, which is fixing y'all lineage and doing the right thing by folks. I don't know why alien would talk to you. You can't even be good to the people here. Why? It just don't make no sense to me. I don't know what they doing, but it don't make sense to me. You can't even deal with the folks here, and you gonna accept the alien here? I don't believe that. I just don't, y'all. I just don't. I just don't. You're talking about somebody who got everything from you, from your ancestors. Every every major religion or spiritual practice was started by somebody of color, of dark color. Usually, if they have started a religion, a pale face, they're gonna be crazy. Look at Scientology. Look at Scientology. He started that. Look at the Mormons. Look at Jehovah Witness. I'm just gonna just get, how's that working out? Every time they start something, this shit goes into a cult and devil worship and stuff. You go do the math. I'm telling you what the ancestors told me. Use your common sense and discernment. Them folks don't even like you. And how the hell they gonna accept somebody that don't look like them? They mad at you, don't like you because you look the way you look. And you think for real? Get out of here. I just don't believe it. Look at Jim Jones and David Koresh. Jim Jones. Yep. That turned out bad. It's gonna turn out bad every time. Every time they get their hands on, I'm telling you, don't fall for it. I don't fall for it. You ain't tricking me. You tricked me a long time ago with that Bible and turning that Jesus white and all those angels white. You done already play with our mind and our spirit. You ain't playing with me no more. And if that them aliens coming out the sky, they probably come to save you because I don't know them, especially when they don't look like me. What are you doing? You can accept that, but you can't even get along with the people that's alongside of you, and you think an alien gonna come here and get out of here. The government doesn't want them to give us no information. The ego be putting belt to ass when them salt sellers get power. You hear me? I just don't believe it, you guys. Y'all can watch this stuff, but they're not fooling me. They just not fooling me. I just don't care. I'm not doing it with them. I'm just not. Okay? They can just keep that going on over there. And again, y'all just trying to perfect y'all spiritual science. We have already did that. Y'all took it and watered it down and bastardized it and broke that away. You did all that. We gave that to y'all in the right way. You didn't like it. You wanted to go up in there and change stuff and start painting these images, pale faces, and all that stuff. That's what happened. Okay, you're stealing stuff. Okay, then you get stuff. It belong to us, and then you'll call it another names, and we don't even know it belong to us until we open it up and look at us and be like, wait a minute, this our stuff. That's what's been going on. Then now y'all going back to shamanism. That's our stuff too. Okay, you going back to shamanism. Now you seeing more of them becoming shamans. But it was our ancestors that was doing the root work and cultivating land, was doing the slavery and all that kind of stuff. But now you want to go into shamanism and connect with the land that you didn't till. I'm just saying that your ancestors didn't till. They didn't tend to. They couldn't even do it because they get sunburned. They couldn't even go out there. They got to put our ancestors out there. I don't understand how that working for you. Let me stop talking because my tongue could be a sword. I'm a Sagittarius. So I will rip you apart with that. So you just stop it. Okay? You're not gonna play with me like that. I'm gonna let you do it. I'm gonna let you do it. I'm not gonna let you do it. I don't believe none of y'all say. Okay? And then to sit there and tell them, um, you would tell them Jesus was black. He was olive complexion. So he was green or black. Which one was he? See how they like playing them damn mind games on you? He was olive color. They just make up shit. So either he was green or he was black because they only come in two colors. Playing these word games and stuff. Okay. Is there brown olive? They look brownish green to me. Most of them look brownish green or they're black. Okay. They're either green or black. These mind games. Oh, he was olive complexion, so he was green or black. Them are the only choices you have here. So stop it. Stop trying to run away from who he really was. The man hid in Egypt. In those times, there wasn't number black people. You can only hide around people that look like you. He was able to hide in there. Okay, so you just cut it out, with the shenanigans, and then tell you, oh, color didn't it don't matter. But if it didn't matter, why y'all change his color? Now you telling a lie. Okay, you just telling a lie. If it didn't matter, why you change the color? Now this Putin man, he coming out here bringing all this stuff out, all this evidence. But see, you can't say nothing either, because why you hiding it? Did you know that I had a different ethnicity tilling to the land, but they kept getting sick and dying? You know that they had a different ethnicity. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I know they couldn't get their butt out there. I know that much. They couldn't get their butt out there and do it. Okay, they can't get. You got them farmers now. They farms going to hell because they messing with them Hispanics and sending them back to Mexico. But they the only one who had the tenacity to do the work. And hell, we ain't gonna do it no more because we tired. We tired of doing it. Our ancestors did that for hundred years. It'd be hard to get one of us out there trying to pick on stuff and work on somebody else's farm. Because if we're gonna be working on anybody's farm, we're gonna be working on our own. We're gonna be growing our own stuff. And I think that's something ancestral because our ancestors worked for people for so long. We just refuse to go out there and be picking and working on somebody else's farm. If we're gonna be doing anything, we're gonna have our own farm. We just ain't gonna do it. And they figured that out once they sent their ass back over there. Now they trying to trick people and kids to go out there to pick on these farms for education. Now y'all need somebody to work. That's what you need. And now y'all try to make it education, make it look educational. Stop tricking people. My child was at school, I'd make sure they missed school that damn day and then go out there. If my child was in school, hell no. You finna put them out there, re-traumatize them, re-traumatizing people. No, ain't nobody finna do that. And if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it on my own terms, on my own land, for me, not for you. Okay? So you can exploit people's energy. You must be out your mind. I'm not doing it. Now, there. Okay? That's how that's gonna go. These people know what they doing, honey, and it's out there new age stuff that if any guy about it gonna be channeling, it need to be you, because you're the natural channeler. They're copying you. They copying you because you're the natural channeler. You're the natural medium. They're copying you. You won't know that though till you get over there and start talking to your ancestors and you find out how easy it is. It's gonna trip you out because you've been dismissing it. Because somebody told you you can't do that. Or they told you it was bad. But you ain't gonna see that though until you get over there and start working your ancestors. They're copying you. You the first channeler. You're the first necromancer. You're the first medium. You saw them going to all them our ancestors that was conjurers and stuff. You saw them going to Aunt Caroline died, Marie Laveau. You set the blueprint to that. None of them would be doing none of that without your ancestors. They would know nothing about any of this without your ancestors. Okay, and that's a fact, Jack. Okay, that's a fact. Okay, so I'm gonna end this as I know this Sunday over here there, and y'all probably got to go to work. But I'm telling you what it is. I'm not gonna lie to you. You wrote. There's nothing I can pick up that come from them that they not saying they come from you. They come from us. There's nothing I can pick up that they originated that they say came from them. And if they do say it come from them, guess who they're gonna talk about? They're gonna talk about Aleister Crowley. They're gonna talk about Aleister Crowley. Okay, that's who they're gonna talk about. And even if they have adopted any ancestral practices, anything that come from us, they're gonna talk about you. I'm just gonna show it to you. I'm you gonna I'm gonna show it over there to you. You're gonna see it with your own eyes. I'm gonna give it to you, let you see it. Then I'm gonna take you right in that book so you can read it for yourself with your own big beautiful eyes. Okay, you'll see it for yourself, and you're gonna be like, "Well, Miss Penny knows what she's talking about." Yeah, I ain't got no reason to lie to you. We wouldn't be sitting up making stuff up. It probably sound like an ancestor to you. Probably the same thing your ancestors telling you didn't told you. That's probably what you doing, remembering. Okay. I usually try to go live around 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for you guys. Okay, I usually try to go live around there, that time. So again, by coming in relationship with your local spirits and plants and animals, you make friends of the ancestors. So when you connect with nature, you are not just communing with the earth, you are also communing with your lineage. That's what you're doing. You're welcome, sweetie. That's what you're doing when you again connect with the land, connect with the ancestors there, and sit there and be quiet. Stop talking, turn off your phone. Hi, Cam. Turn off your phone. Turn that stuff off. You don't need none of that stuff. Get off social media for a minute or two. It's gonna be there. Get off there for an hour and go sit in the park. Look at the animals. Look at the ducks. Ask questions. See what comes up for you. Connect back. You're gonna need that if you're gonna be doing hoodoo and working with these elements. You're gonna need to know how to water the spirit of water feels. You're gonna need to know how the land feels. You're gonna need to know the spirits on the land that support you and your work. I know you probably haven't looked at it like that, but when you start learning more about hoodoo and root work, you're it's gonna open your mind up to looking at things like that. And for those of you, you think that you can learn everything from our videos, everything from our live streams. Really, we're just touching the surface on there. It's so much more that you need to learn when you go into the practice. You're not going to gain all of it by listening to our live streams. It's a little bit of it. Okay. We're only just trying to help you put things together if you're already a practitioner to help you understand a little more. But when you start practicing it, the ancestors are going to reveal so much more insight to you. That's how it worked for me. Okay. Or you might know a whole bunch of stuff and you start running into things in our materials that confirm what the ancestors told you. That's why I have you looking at all this stuff, because everybody walk is kind of different when it comes to the ancestors, you guys. And we get you grounded in that because you need that. Okay, you want your discernment to be good. You want your intuition to heighten. You want to strengthen your psychic abilities. You're going to have to do it doing ancestral veneration and shadow work. That's how that's going to happen. Okay, and make sure this is something that something that you are prepared to do. Okay. And if you're not willing to put in the work, if you don't want to do it yourself, you're not willing to put in. You get in this whatever you put in there. That's what you get out of it. There is no initiation in hoodoo, but you would definitely feel it when you start doing shadow work and working with your ancestors, because you're not going to be getting certain breakthroughs when you don't do the work. There's certain work you're not going to be able to do if you don't do the work. That's how it has worked for me. Okay, you can learn all the spells you want to. You can learn all you want to, but if you ain't got no ancestral alignment, if you're not in alignment with the magic, you don't understand the components to the natural elements that you're working with, then you're not gonna really get too far with that. Okay. Does anyone have any questions with me? Because I know I covered I was trying to go here and there and answer people questions. But yes, Tanisha, there's different forms of meditation, and I think the visualization is what you should be focused on, and use that visualization to heal yourself and also uh, work with your ancestors. Okay. But you can use many different forms of meditation. And what you'll see in a lot of these books, too, especially with ancestral veneration, when they're talking about conjure and hoodoo, they're going to go into meditation. They're going to go into these exercises, meditations that they're going to have in the books, which I have some available too with the book I offered. But again, they're going to give you meditation exercises to help you communicate with spirits, with ancestors. In every last one of them books, and people miss that because they say, "I don't want to meditate. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that." Yeah, but you want to follow somebody though, don't you? But you want to sit up and watch 3 hours of YouTube videos that ain't tell you a damn thing. And then you still wonder what your ancestors telling you. You want to watch people do these tarot readings for 2 or 3 hours and try to get a group collective reading and get your ancestors reading that way. Okay, keep it up. You're gonna be keep getting being confused. You want somebody to slow down and honor you and be there for you, but you won't take 15 minutes to sit down and try to tap into that realm. It don't make no sense to me. You want somebody to just give. You want to take, take, take. It really lets you know too. When you start doing that shadow work, you really start to understand who you are. Are your ancestors, are they shakers or moving? The initiators get some popping, or are they takers? Are they looking to take from somebody? You get a chance to really look at that. Or are you reciprocal, or is it a give and take with you? Because how you are is how your ancestors are. You always taking and trying to get something free and all that stuff, and you just got to be following somebody extracting your energy. That's something you probably need to work on. You want somebody to give. There might be some codependence and stuff going on. You'll see it once you start doing your shadow work. What frequency and soil you was born in. I just had somebody the other night. I think it was last night. Got into my box and said, "Are you giving in promotions? My prices are promotions. I don't know how much promotion to get. My lowest price is $5 over there. How low do you want it to get? My price for membership is $10. How low do you want it to get? My price for conjure is $20. How low do you want it to get? My prices for shadow work, conjure work, all of it is $33. How low do you want it to get? You got some people that's charging hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to teach you a spell. You got some people that are doing tarot readings, charging you 50, $60 for a 15-minute tarot reading, and you run over there and then you get mad. Make it make sense. I look at some of this stuff and I say these spirits in these people, they don't even realize spirits in them. They never took the time to sit down and ask themselves, why am I doing this? The prices is fair. She provides so many resources. She pours in the community. Why am I trying to extract more energy from her? Why am I trying to do this? You never ask. And here I am, I'm embodying the energy of service to you. I'm freely sharing information with you. Probably something you never heard before that's very valuable for you, but you steady come here and try to extract. Some of y'all like that. Get in my box and I just be like, oh my God, I can't believe this poor child don't even know they mindset. You need to get somewhere and go take a spiritual bath. You need to get somewhere and try to clear yourself out. I get it all the time for promotion. I'm like, how low do it have to be, God? I mean, I made it. Ancestors, I made it just like y'all told me to. Now, child, that child sick. They sick. Okay, I'm right on time. You are gifting us with your services, and you net doing this for money. Ask for a dime. Ask for a dime, and everything over there. This is affordable. So I'm not trying to exploit you. I'm not trying to take advantage of you. I know what I'm talking about because I can be very thorough about it. So I'm not scamming you. So I don't understand it. That's what That's what I've seen over there. I just can't believe. I said, oh my God, like really? So how what do you call a promotion? What do you call promote? Some of you got again, you got some ancestors again that can't get things moving until they're extracting others people's energy. You got people that just they don't want nothing, but they want you to have a long conversation with you. They want to extract your energy. They have no intentions of, working with you. Their job because they seen you online, they seen you doing a live. Now they want to extract your energy. They can simply go over there and look at the platform and look at what you have and look through your videos and see what you're about. But no, they want to get you in that chat and they want to write 8, 9, paragraphs. And they want to ask all these questions that can be simply be answered if they just click on the link or go watch a video. You give a whole lot for nothing much in return. See? I don't understand that. I just my mind be so baffled. I'm just like, why? What? You know, please don't. Again, look at what you're doing. Some of us are not conscious of what I'm doing. That's how I can tell you really, really sick. Yeah, you need to be over there. You need to be getting the biggest tear over there. You need to be getting to know thyself. You need to heal. You need all that. You come over there like, yeah, you get over there in that tear. So you can get everything. Where you get your spiritual baths and all that stuff cranked up because your mind is sick. It's not right. Okay. And I see you doing stuff like that. It don't make no sense. But I don't even think you're aware that it doesn't make sense. Okay. A girl told me she charged $100 for 4 months and don't really teach anything. That's what's happening here. You're welcome, Andrea School. That's what happens here. I get people in my box. They be tripping me out. I say, I know I'm not crazy. I know I made this affordable. I understand. I want them to have it. That's why I got it like that. That's why I share it the way I do. That's why I come here with these live streams. That's why whatever the ancestors tell me, I give it to you. Okay? So you don't know you sick. But when you start looking at your shadow work and it's hard for you to get started. It's hard for you to get started on your work. Yet you'll get people over there, they got the whole platform, but they have not got started on their work. They have not integrated who do on it. I guess they want somebody to tell them to stand by them and hold their hand and take them through it. That's not how you are the leader of your practice. Nobody's going to make you do anything. Nobody's going to scream at you, holler at you, cuss you out. If you don't have that in you to do it, then it's not going to get done. You wondering what's going on, you feel and you confused. What are you trying to ignore that you're supposed to be doing? You're welcome, Enchanted. Enchanted got her astro reading. It was very detailed. Okay. So again, do the work, beloved. Do the work. Don't get over there and get mesmerized by me. Don't be looking at me. You should be looking at them ancestors. I'm just a messenger. Don't be looking at me trying to follow me. Don't do that. Don't get starstruck. They got us crazy with that following celebrities, spending money we don't have because we trying to get Dooney bags and Prada and all this stupid crap that don't even make no dang on sense. Don't even need that stuff. Okay, they got you following all that kind of crap and stuff and messed up your mind really because that them folks don't make no difference. I done told you that. Okay, don't get starstruck. You better get starstruck on them ancestors. Now that's what I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed with my ancestors. I don't care what no people saying that they got some valuable information. I listen to the message. I ain't gonna get infatuated with that person. Okay? I know the ancestors is working through them. And that's what's wrong. They got you hooked on people. That's what happened when they got you following this Jesus. Now they got us following people. And we don't even want to trust what's on the inside of us. Okay? And you mess with me, you're gonna be trusting what's on the inside of you because I'm not gonna let you do it. I'm just not gonna let you gonna get mad at me. Because I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I'm gonna send you straight to them ancestors. You're gonna get upset with me. Because you used to people telling you what to do or giving you answers and all that stuff. You know your life. This is your life. You don't need me to tell you what to do with it. That is your relationship with your ancestors. You don't need me telling you what to do. You shouldn't want that for you. You're here to so you can make better choices for yourself and discern and have a good relationship with your ancestors. That's it. So you're gonna be very upset with me because if you're used to me telling you people telling you what to do and all that stuff, that's just not gonna happen here because I got to get you to trust in your intuition and your ancestors. You're never gonna do that if you're always looking for people for answers. I don't want that for you. Okay. Okay. So every time you try to do that, I'm gonna put you right back over there in your power and your divinity and get you to trust in yourself and having faith in yourself because that is the problem here. That's the problem, but you don't see that. Okay. I refreshed my altar with new money and they gave me two crisp $100 bills and a book. See, I'm telling you, you will see when you start doing the work, but you got to develop the relationship and stop being so starstruck with people. I was like that too. That says some people said them people life is so raggedy, girl. They sitting up there pretending. They don't know more than you. I said, what? A lot of these people pretending. They pretend very well. And here you is, you think you don't know nothing and you know more. You got more knowledge in your pinky than they do in their whole damn body. They sitting up here faking in front. They not living that lifestyle. They up here faking. I said, are you serious? Yeah. They fake real good though. And here you is, you up here, you scared to open your mouth. And we done put everything in you. We know we done put in you. Don't let these people fool you. They don't know nothing. You get to talk and get a relationship with your ancestors. You get talking to you find out they don't know nothing compared to what your ancestors taught you. You sure right, user 803544. Yeah, heal that stuff up. Cause you'll be repeating stuff and following people because you got abandonment issues, you got codependent issues, you got lack of self-esteem issues, you got all this going on. That's why a lot of them people know that in EFA, they try to get you over there. They know you got this going on. They're gonna exploit that and play on that. That's why you need to get yourself somewhere over there and talk to them ancestors. And see that man, he couldn't play on me because I kept telling the ancestors, man, cut it out. Then he try to play that mind game with thanks to the Olodumare and the Orisha. Boy, shut up. Cause you know the ancestors come before that. You just sound shut up. That's when I blocked him. You gonna get out of here with that mess because you sitting up here, you're more faithful to the religion than the spiritual practice. So just cut it out. I don't want to do it with you. Just raggedy, raggedy, raggedy. Y'all need to fix that over there because it's getting raggedy. It's getting unbelievable. The stories there at IFA is starting to look like a whole big giant scam. And if y'all ain't got nothing to do with it, get them people out of there. You need to come up with something else to help people protect themselves. That healing from trauma and working with your ancestors go hand in hand. Absolutely, Ami. It go hand in hand. You can't have it without the other. Okay? Because like you inherited their gifts and talents of these spiritual arts, you also inherited that generational trauma. Don't forget what happened to you. That don't go away. That's in your blood. It's in epigenetically. It's in your blood. You got stuff in there. I'm so sorry. It ain't your fault. No, it ain't our fault. It's not. It's not our ancestors' fault. It's not none. That's why they created hoodoo. And when you start healing and you start reaching for hoodoo, you gonna know exactly why they created it. And it's more than magic, like people telling you. That is a whole healing modality. It heals your mind, your body, your spirit. Our ancestors just that smart. Hoodoo ain't just magic. It heal your mind. It heal your body. It heal your spirit. You start working with those herbs and stuff like that, and you're gonna find that out real quick. You're gonna have more respect for that practice. Okay, it's gonna heal you. Now you the root workers going there and working with those herbs and stuff, they heal people. They knew the power of those herbs. They knew exactly what to give you to heal you, and then pray over you with those herbs, and you get healed. Okay? So it's more than just the magic like people, "Yeah, we just put it together and it's just magic." Oh hell no, the hell you don't. You get somewhere, you sit down, you start praying, talking to your ancestors and stuff, and moving that work along. You getting up at 3 or 5 o'clock in the morning. You got your prayer life jumping. You got to see me scrambling around here at 5 o'clock in the morning, trying to get down there to that tree this morning. I'm scrambling. I'm walking blind, trying to hurry up, get down there to that tree, and get over there and fix my ancestors some coffee every morning because it's got to be on that altar. No later than 6:30. I got to have that hot coffee and a cigarette on that altar. I'm scrambling. This is my morning ritual now because I'm gonna stay grounded. If I don't do it, it don't feel right. I feel like something missing if I don't do it because it's a part of my daily life. Okay, you'll get like that too once you integrate hoodoo into your life. But I've integrated it. So that's my first thing. I'm getting up in the morning, talking to the ancestors, going down there to the tree, doing my little libations, talking to them, come back up here, fix them some coffee, give them a cigarette, If I got some a muffin, a cake, or some breakfast, I put that up there for them. And yeah, consistent. You have to be consistent. They see that for you, and when you consistent like that, they right on for you. Right on. That's why I don't play no game because I need you right on. I need you right on. I need you because when I get ready to open my mouth, I need you there. I need you there. So I'm getting my butt up and I'm gonna and pour my coffee and talk to you every morning because I need you. I need you every day. You going to see that because I'm going to be consistent getting on your damn nerves. Okay. I've been at that, I'm going to be doing it. How long do you keep the coffee in your on your altar? It's probably I do it change it every day because this is a morning ritual. So every morning they get a fresh cup of coffee. So this happens daily. This happens daily. They get a fresh cup of coffee, keep it on there all day long. Depending on if I feel like they telling me to get it off of there or they don't want it on there, then I'll take it off of there. But usually I leave it up there all day because they're gonna get a fresh cup every morning. I try to get them a fresh cup of coffee every morning with a cigarette. I light a cigarette like an incense and put it up there. Okay. And you have your own ritual. You ain't gotta do it like me. Do it like your ancestors tell you to do it. Your ancestors might tell you to do something different. Okay, they might tell you to do something that's absolutely fine. They ain't gotta look like me. But the one thing about it, you need to be over there talking to them, and I'm gonna push you. I'm gonna push you right over there with them. Them your folks. You need to be open your mouth, telling them what's going on with you. Okay? And they told you that. Don't come over here thinking I'm a tell you something different. If they told you that you need to do that, you gonna do it. I'm gonna say do it. If you want to, uh, make sure that it is true. Do a divination on it. I get you all started with divination. Those are things you're gonna have to learn, gonna be essential on your hoodoo journey. Ancestors, shadow work, divination. And I don't know why these hoodoo practitioners want to teach you a spell and all that stuff, and don't want to teach you how to talk to your ancestors, how to do divination. Even when you're doing the work, divination is going to come in handy to make sure your work is going the way it should, or letting you know, hey, you need to add something to this work. But I'll give you a solid foundation. Ain't gonna do me no good to show you no spell. And you don't know what the hell going on. You don't know no ancestors. You don't know nothing about no how water spirits work. You don't know nothing about no fire spirits. You don't know nothing about earth spirits. You don't know nothing. I'm not helping you like that. I'm just giving you a whole bunch of confusion and you don't understand what's going on. You can't do hoodoo without the ancestors. It just don't work. Okay? It just don't work. I wouldn't advise you to do that. Okay? If you're doing I don't know what you're doing if you're doing magic without the ancestors. I don't know what you're doing. I had somebody, said that then that's what you just doing. You're just doing magic out there raw dogging it. I'm not raw dogging it. I don't like to be raggedy like that. I need my stuff to work every time. So I'm calling on them ancestors. And if they tell me to work with another spirit, I'm gonna call that spirit too. I don't care. I'm gonna get it done. Okay. Anybody got any more questions for me? I've kept you a little while. And then we'll come back. I'll come back here tomorrow. We'll talk about another type of ancestors. And I'm usually try to be here at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time to have these conversations and not keep you long. And what has happened here, why I am talking about ancestors, is because I've had a lot of people when I'm talking about another subject, and they will ask about ancestors and say, "You're welcome, Enchanted." Uh, I've had a lot of people to talk about, what about ancestors? Ancestors, I would thoroughly educate because you need to know. I don't mind talking about that because that's important. You need to know that to even before you start picking up stuff and moving stuff around, you need to know that. So I don't mind talking about the variety of ancestors that support us in our work, and it's not just family. And again, maybe these conversations will help you comprehend the understanding of ancestors, and you won't have this isolated idea that it's just family. That it this thing is big. It is bigger than what you think it is. Okay. All right, lovey. So if you need me, DM me. You want an astro reading, DM me, you TikTok people, you TikTok family. If you need me, you want an astro reading, DM me your time, your place, your date of birth, and your email address. I'll get you out an invoice and I'll get your chart done within a day or so. If you want a tarot reading, that's $35. Uh, yeah, that's about it. If you are interested in our hoodoo community, click the link in our bio. Get over there. We would love to have you and get you active over there too. You have something to contribute to because as this go on, you're gonna find out things and you're gonna want to share them with the with the community, and we want to hear it because we learning too. We all practitioners. We don't know everything. I don't know everything. I just know what the ancestors put in me. Okay, so get over there if that's something that you're interested in. Is there anything else? No, you'll see me tomorrow and we'll be talking about another type of ancestors again. And so you'll learn some more about ancestors. We'll do about this. We've already covered this in our community thoroughly. I made sure everybody over there is thoroughly. You got so many books and resources and lectures and resources over there. It's about ancestor veneration. You just can't get it wrong over there. Cause I bang that in your head. Then we go over ancestors again and again and again and again. So you ain't gonna get it wrong over there. Okay. So I see y'all tomorrow and be ready to talk about some more type of ancestors. Okay. You're welcome, Nova. You're so welcome. And we're gonna talk about some more type of ancestors. I'm gonna knock your socks off when you learn about it. You're gonna be like, really? I'm like, yeah, that's really you got that much power. That's who's supporting you. Okay. Love you guys. You guys take care. It's always good when I'm able to hear to come and share with you guys. But be looking for me tomorrow because we're gonna talk again tomorrow. Okay. Love you guys.